This is great. You make me blush.
You know me too long. It's okay then.
Yeah. I'm not coming to your symposium. You keep doing that.
I won't do it again.
No, that symposium is one of the best things that happens to our mineral world. Believe
Thank you.
me.
In
I
fact,
really feel that way.
he's a speaker this year, so he has to come.
Yeah.
No choice.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how all this nonsense in Tucson started.
Good.
But listen, you've got a gold specimen here that I've never even heard of the locality. And Kevin was telling me that these things were actually thrown out by the miners because they occurred in a clay seam, and they were so coated with clay, they didn't bother with them. They just pitched them out on a dump.
You know what? It's coming together now. That goes with the story I was told by Al Young, that they did find these in loose boulders up on tops of the dump.
There you are.
So they pitched it out.
Look
and then,
at
yeah, metal detector. I was told that only a handful came out. This was 10 years ago?
Yeah, right. That's what
This is
Kevin
one of the
said.
biggest
He said
ones.
you had 4 of them.
Yeah.
That's one.
I have had many of them.
Marvelous.
Very elegant piece.
You know, to have the guys find it in clay balls or something, it's really unusual.
It was right on top. I didn't know about the clay balls, but I knew it was on top.
Yeah. This, it's kind of an ugly thing, but this is the same mine that produced the wonderful scheelites, the honey-colored scheelites that Arizona is so
Really?
famous for. Yeah. And
In a gold mine?
yeah. When Ed Over was digging in here, he was digging for the scheelites. It's an old gold mine, was closed. He got in there and he found the scheelites. But it's called the Dos Cabezas because the mountain itself actually has 2 peaks, 2 heads. So that gives it its name. But that's for Arizona, that's one heck of a nice nugget. Now, talking about old-timers, you've got something from an old-time emerald mine in North Carolina that is kind of interesting. It's a huge thing. It's really quite a crystal.
Yeah, this is from the wrist mine, and it's got the rutiles to prove it.
Okay. Looks like it's been slightly etched. Some of those were, but that's, for the North Carolina area, that's a magnificent thing.
Actually, I think the only one bigger is the Houston piece, the Houston Museums.
Yeah. And Smithsonian had one that was pretty good size, but I don't remember exactly.
I've looked in the American Treasures book. This is bigger.
There you are.
Yeah,
there you
this
are.
is a big one.
That's quite a rock. And Kuntz was down there because he was sent down there by Edison. Edison thought that the goldenrods growing in that area would produce latex as a substitute for rubber coming out of Brazil. And then that's how Kuntz got involved in all this
So
stuff.
Kuntz knew Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I want to show you a more modern,
Let's look at
more
this
modern
beauty. Look
kind
at
of
that.
sexy rock.
That's not repaired?
One repair.
One repair.
I
Okay.
would have accepted a dozen repairs when it looks like this.
What's the locality on that?
This is from the Shigar Valley area.
Okay. Size of that thing.
It's we call it the baton.
Beautifully doubly terminated on a beautiful setting.
Actually, it's a floater. This is all complete too.
Yeah. No point of attachment. Yeah. And speaking of unique, you have a calcite over here that is really unique.
Oh, I call that the Smurf Village.
I know you like China.
Yeah.
And this one obviously came from China. It had to have come from China. Look at that strange beast.
Let me pull it out for you.
You're showing it, you're displaying it upside down, aren't you?
No.
No?
It just doesn't go in this case very well. It should be a little bit up. See, the whole bottom is terminated.
Okay.
It's like an upside down castle.
Yeah.
And light comes through. It's all translucent and beautiful.
But didn't this form in water? This was on the ceiling this way, and the tips were in water?
Yeah.
And the
I see what you
calcites
mean.
grew on the tips of the stalactites.
So this would be what they call a soda straw. It's hollow.
Yeah, right.
It's a remnant of that kind of
Right,
formation.
little soda straw. So in order to display it properly, you have to display it upside down.
You want me to glue it to the
formed.
shelf?
Yeah. That's wild.
Scheelite.
Look at that.
Biggest crystals ever for Yaogong Xian.
Really?
Remember, we don't see a lot of scheelite from this mine. This is where all the fluorites and calcites come from. Scheelite is rare there.
Boy, look at the luster on that thing. Sharp as a razor.
Believe it or not, that's how it came from the mine with a water bath.
Really?
No fancy cleaning. This was a find that came out just before the Denver show, really. Beautiful neon green fluorites.
Yeah, gorgeous color.
And that's from Fujian province. You haven't seen a lot of minerals from Fujian.
No. Can't keep up with it all.
Well, that's where the spessartine garnets used to come from.
Oh, okay.
But there's not a lot of mining there.
Yeah, okay.
It's a seaside and farming province.
Really nice.
Then I will show you one more thing from China. This was a new pocket, also at Yaogangshan. Really lustrous bornonites.
Yeah. What's it? With quartz? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love bornonites. Everybody knows that. The luster on that is fantastic.
Yeah.
My heavens.
Unfortunately, most of them were broken. So China's been active this year, but not as active as in the past. Not even close to 2 years ago, even.
Well,
It's really slowed.
all good things come to an end. Let's hope that's not the story for China yet. Anyway.
Well, it's the world economy. So as the mining slows,
That's right.
they're driving less tunnel. They're blasting less. They're cutting back.
Right. The demand for metals is down. That's a shame, but what are you going to do? Right. You've got some other very brilliant-looking cuprites over here that I'd like to take a look at.
So you remember a year or two ago, cuprites started coming out from Milpias.
Right.
They were pretty good. We all thought they were pretty good for Mexico.
Never big crystals, but very, very bright and very nice.
But these are good by even African standards.
Yeah, look at the color on that.
So there was a little starter pocket that came out in December. And it was typical of what had been found before. And then this came out actually in early January. Boy. And I actually flew down here to meet someone, came up from Mexico with it before the show.
All right.
After this, another pocket came out, which was back to the more typical Milpias cuprite.
Yeah. The color on those is really intense.
Well, I want to show you. This is actually my favorite miniature.
Look at that.
Now, if you saw that, you'd think it was African.
Yeah.
But it's funny, one of the Australians came in, said the only, and he's right, the only color he's ever seen like this with luster is Red Dome mine, Australia.
Oh, really?
For that size and that luster.
Yeah.
And then what's really neat
a little jewel.
is there were a few pieces that have this elongated hopper kind of crystal.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's some mineralogical explanation for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what it is. Those are very nice.
But I've never seen a cuprite like that from anywhere.
These haven't been out long enough to be affected at all by atmosphere. Because sometimes cuprite will begin to take on a sort of a metallic sheen, and that's not here. And these may not. These just may remain gemmy like that. They're beautiful.
You mean will they oxidize or not?
Yeah, they get slightly oxidized. They take on a sort of a metallic sheen. At least the ones from Bisbee and some of the other places. But these certainly don't look like they're going to do anything. They're just gorgeous the way they are.
Yeah, they need a close light, but they do light up. So, Milpias is just, it's crazy. It keeps surprising us.
Yeah, amazing place. Yeah. Oh, that is something else.
That's the ugliest rock in the case.
Yeah, but it's most impressive from my point of view.
Yeah. So this is part of the big find. Tom Praskier brought these out in Munich almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. And this was not prepared at the time. It took longer in the lab. So this was the biggest plate from that find of the Allergentum crystals.
Gee, that's amazing. Now, what's the locality on that?
It is from the Blusmus mine. I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right. It is in northern Morocco.
Yeah, look at that.
It's very elegant.
Yeah. Weighs a ton. A little bit of matrix rock with it.
So as far as I know, they were melting this for silver. Before collectors got to them. How would you know? You lift this and you think, wow, I just made $50 of silver. Throw it in the smelter.
Really a shame.
And most of it was embedded in the calcite, so it didn't look like much.
Yeah.
So most of it was destroyed, is what I was told. Yeah. And they got in towards the end of the deposit. You want to see something top secret?
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
I'll bring them out.
Okay.
I have something unusual for me. Most of my new finds and the things I chase tend to be not gem crystals.
Okay.
I'm active in China.
Okay.
Not so active in Brazil.
Yeah.
But I got lucky.
You're my kind of guy. You like minerals, crystals.
I do.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the variety. So I kind of got lucky and was part of an existing deal when this came up. And these are from a new mine in Brazil.
Ooh.
It's near the Cruzeiro in the same district.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Let me put a light behind it. And as you can see, it certainly has a lot of potential.
Gem all the way.
Yeah, look at the tips. Now the tips go sort of yellowy, frosty look.
Almost lost color, yeah.
which is quite distinct.
Isn't that something?
So this is the biggest piece that came out of this pocket. There's a lot of singles, a lot of little pieces, and then there was one
Oh, that's really something. And
right
do
here.
you have the mine name?
No,
No.
I can't
okay.
give that out.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
And there's
look at
one
that
that's
quartz.
above all.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Beautiful. A gorgeous specimen.
Yeah, I don't know how the camera's doing. It's translucent without the need of backlight. Transparent, really.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's gem, no question about it. Great color.
So I'm actually not known for having tourmalines. I'm usually late to the game or avoid it altogether. But these,
You've stepped up with these two.
yeah, these appealed to me.
Wonderful.
Out here.
You always come up with good stuff. These are
Thank
really
you.
great. Thanks very much.
Thanks for coming to play.
Hey, good to see you again. You know, I always like to come into your room because you have such gorgeous minerals and they're so beautifully displayed.
Thank you.
It's really wonderful. The same in Munich. When I've seen your things in Munich, just wow. You've got great taste and great minerals. Now you've got something here that I think is really exceptional because of the location. These Freibergites. Now, how long ago have they been out of the ground?
That's found that was made last year in spring,
That's
around
soon.
April.
That recent.
It's a
Wow.
recent find. There was just one pocket of 35, 40 pieces. And they're really amazing, the size.
Oh, the crystal form and the
Yeah.
size of those crystals is just remarkable. Can we pull one of those
Sure.
out of there and look at it? You know, Freibergites are, you know, you just don't see it around. It may be a minor crystal next to an acanthite or something like that, but to see them in this crystal size, beautiful.
Big crystal.
Just
This one even has steinites on. They're also
Look at that. So sharp and lustrous. Great cluster. Man. Yeah, those are really fine. Really fine. They rival anything that ever came out of Germany, as I remember. Yeah, I
we
don't-
had them tested because many of the so-called Freibergites are only silver-rich tetrahedrites.
Ah, okay.
So when it reaches
okay.
a certain level
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah.
silver content, it's called
Yeah.
Freibergite. So we wanted to make sure that it's
Those are great.
really Freibergite.
yeah, great crystals. The size of these polysites.
Interesting thing here is you have them associated with beryllium, which is also
okay,
very rare.
okay.
You have
Yeah, another
both,
beryllium mineral,
special,
yeah.
both minerals on one
yeah, yeah.
specimen. That's pretty rare, especially the size. Yeah.
Oh, they're amazing, just amazing. The rich color of these fluorites, just marvelous. And they're from
They're
Switzerland.
from Switzerland, from Blankenstock. I don't know if
Okay.
you remember this deposit where they found the huge quartz clusters.
Yes,
Up
yes.
to a meter
Yeah.
crystals. And this found was made last summer. It was a little side vein, a side pocket
Yeah,
to the quartz vein with just a few fantastic fluorides in.
Were the local
So I'm happy to
Strahlers
get that.
responsible for finding that?
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
If you want, I can take one
Yeah,
out.
let's take a look at that. Oh, look at that.
Really fantastic.
Beautiful octahedrons.
sides.
Yeah, yeah. What a cluster. It's marvelous. Can you imagine finding something like that? Yeah. You'd hyperventilate. You've got a rarity here that we need to take a look at because it is an exceptional example. It's a little jewel, and it's from Saxony.
That's from Saxony, from Arkenstone.
Yeah,
And it's an organic mineral.
yeah, yeah.
So, and it's
yeah.
funny, it's found on a level of 1,500 meters,
That deep.
like 45
Holy
100
mackerel.
feet.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like a jewel.
Gemmy, great luster, good crystal, and exceptional size for the species. Yeah. One of the few organic specimens that are well worth collecting. A lot of them are pretty average, but that really is exceptional. Can you imagine finding that? Isn't that wonderful? It's from the Arusha area. And, you know, years ago, when there were a couple of mines working, they were doing the same vein. I talked to Campbell Bridges one day, and he said, you know, they had a gun battle underground because they broke into each other's
Exactly.
deposits.
They were invading underground.
Yeah, isn't that something? Thank God they settled that. May we look at that a little
Sure.
closer? I don't need my glasses, but I'm going to put them on because I want to see the matrix too.
It's just so hard to find them on matrix.
Yeah, that's it. That's
We've
it.
seen, quite many single crystals, but on matrix,
Yeah.
it's really difficult to get.
Yeah, can you see the trichroic colors? Kind of hard to see.
But you can't actually need to shoot the light through, but
Right,
it's
right,
tough
right.
through the matrix.
Right.
You can see the
Yeah. Oh, look at that! Look at
blue and the
that!
purple.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. Perfect specimen, nice terminations, lustrous. But the matrix makes it
Makes it
for me.
yeah,
for me.
exactly.
Most gold is herringbone or flattened octahedrons, all kinds of shapes. But you've got some cubes.
Cubes, and
Now
actually
that-
these are pseudomorphs.
Yeah, are they?
Gold after pyrite,
Okay.
where they have this cubic
Is,
form.
is this the type that I've heard about where they actually cut one of them and
Exactly.
found pyrite in the core?
Yeah, we did all
Is it?
kinds of research in them and
Yeah.
tested them, and obviously not such big one, but the smaller we
Yeah,
cut in
yeah,
half.
yeah, yeah,
There's still
yeah.
some pyrite core inside even,
That's wonderful.
and some small malachite crystals were growing in. And
What's the locality?
that's called Budil. That's in Baikal, Russia.
Oh, in Baikal. Okay.
And those pieces were found in the 60s and 70s, so it's
Okay.
not a recent discovery.
Yeah.
It's pretty old.
Obviously
I
not
can draw it out.
stream worn. Good heavens! Look at that. That's amazing. You just don't see such sharp cubes in gold.
Never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
We've seen small ones,
Yeah.
but this size.
In order for that to grow in a cubic shape, perfect like that, the amount of energy that's involved to keep those atoms where they are is much more than in an octahedron or in the other types. That's very exceptional. Wonderful. Yeah, a beautiful
with
little
the small-
single.
small
Look
pyrite
at,
on
look
top.
at that! Look
Isn't
at
that
that
funny?
with the pyrite there. Proof positive, isn't that something? Once in a while they find a girthite, which is pseudomorph after pyrite, and in the girthite they'll find little flecks of gold. So the relationship between pyrite and gold is pretty obvious. Going from the sublime to almost the ridiculous, you've got an amethyst here that is just marvelous. It's just an amethyst, it's just a little scepter, but it is so beautiful sitting on that piece of matrix. And my comment earlier was, how could they have possibly cut or shaped that matrix and not damage that
Not
crystal?
damage the crystal.
Yeah.
And it didn't come off. It's not repaired. It's
Yeah.
really perfect.
It's a lovely little thing.
You can take it out.
Yeah. Look at that. Beautiful
Exact
color.
phantom inside. It's just perfect.
That is something else. If you had glue and a crystal and a rock, you couldn't have done a better job. But not repaired, not damaged, just lovely. That's the kind of a thing that anyone would like to have in their collection. It's a showstopper. Marcus, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.
Wonderful specimens. I look forward to seeing you again in Munich. Always good to come and
Thank
see
you.
you. You
Great
have
to see
such
you.
great things to look at.
Thank you very
And
much.
when I came in, I noticed a new book.
Ah, yes, we do. We
Look
have
at
volume
this.
5 out of our series of books which document all the minerals that we have sold over the past 30 plus years.
Oh, look at this.
And
Look
we do this because a lot of these minerals will never get seen again publicly.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a good reference for people to look at and see.
Yeah.
These are wonderful minerals, and it's a shame that they sometimes get hidden away in collections and far
Sure,
away.
sure.
And so we like to document them.
You handle such great minerals. Look
Thank
at
you very
this.
much. Thank you.
I know that this is advertised in MR, and did I hear you say that anyone who buys this through Mineralogical Record,
Yes.
the profits
You
go to...
can order them directly from the Mineralogical Record bookstore, and all the profits go to them as
That's
a donation
great.
to the magazine.
That's great. Good for you.
Oh, thank you.
That's good. Now, I know you've got some good things in the case here. I saw
Yes.
something that just blew me away when I saw it. This absolutely stunning morganite.
Oh, the morganite. Yeah, that's one of the great morganites of the world.
It is.
It's from Afghanistan. It's got fabulous color and presence. You see at least 50 to 60% of the crystal. Morganites tend to be
yeah.
buried in the matrix.
Yeah,
Of course, the
yeah.
clear quartz matrix is
Yeah,
wonderful.
it's cradled in the quartz.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
marvelous
Yeah, it's-
presentation.
I think so too. Yeah.
What a piece. And do you have the exact location?
It is from Nuristan province.
Okay.
Where most of them
Close
come
enough.
from.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah. That's just, the color is just stunning.
Yeah, I love the color of it,
Great
the clarity,
piece.
and the way it's nestled into the quartz is,
Yeah,
I think it's beautiful. Yeah.
So it's like you put it together. Another specimen in this case that caught my eye is the Bornonite from
Yes.
Cornwall.
Yes.
You know, that's so classic from Harrod's Foot.
Absolutely.
And, you know, the British Museum of Natural History, as it is now called, has some great ones, large cogs wheels.
Yes.
But this specimen is really unusual and beautiful because it's got chalcopyrites with it,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
quartz,
Yeah.
and the Bornonites themselves are perfect twins,
Yes.
cogs wheels, and they're presented so beautifully.
And that was the cover piece for the Harrod's Foot Mine issue of the Mineralogical Record.
Yeah, which
And,
of course featured the mine and
right.
all the specimens.
Exactly.
But that's a great
Yeah,
specimen.
that is the finest one we've ever owned.
Look at that. Yeah, the luster on that twinning, just so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a classic cogs wheel
Little,
shape.
little quartz to offset it. Chalcopyrites down here at the base. What a piece.
And that piece, what I like about it too, is that it stands the test of time.
Oh, yeah.
Many old classics from 100, 200 years ago, today we've seen so many better examples from other places.
Yeah.
This will compete with any Bornonite in the world.
Yeah, the Chinese and the Bolivian Bornonites can't match this. No way. It's just so lovely. And even though the Museum of Natural History has much larger cogs wheels and very nicely positioned on matrix, this one is an exceptional piece.
Yeah,
It really is.
It's got an elegance that I
Yeah,
appreciate.
Yeah, it can hold its own against anything that's come out of there.
Yes.
Just great.
Yes.
Thank you. That's a wonderful specimen. You know, you've got a bonitoite here that's pretty attractive. As a matter of fact, it's quite exceptional.
Yeah, let's take a look at it.
Yeah, let's.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
agree. It is
Yeah.
exceptional.
You know, unfortunately, that area is now closed off.
Right,
You know, the federal
yeah.
government got in there. They declared the mountains full of asbestos, which is not
yeah.
true. They're serpentines.
Right, right.
And so we're not going to see anything like this coming out of the ground anymore. And the positioning of these crystals all around the perimeter, like that, just marvelous.
And I like the luster too. You know how often they come out with a satin luster? This has a beautiful
And they
glassy
cross-site
luster.
inclusions and things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, this is really sweet.
Now that's a true American classic because
Yeah.
it's not found anywhere else.
Gemstone of California,
That's
of
right.
course, you know,
Yeah.
so it's beautiful. And unfortunate, the federal government has made it impossible to really mine there
Right.
anymore. You know.
Yes, yes.
I guess you can go in and dig by hand, but, you know, you're not going to find anything like
No,
this.
no.
Really sweet.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
there we go. And right next to it, you've got a red beryl that's very showy.
Yes, it is. And you know, I mean, this is just another American classic.
Yeah,
Again, unique to one locality.
Now, the Wawa Mountains are the locality.
Yes.
And is this out of the old Rex Harris?
It is, yes.
pit?
That's an old Rex
Yeah,
Harris.
yeah.
Yes,
I've been up in that area. There are actually two pits. The Harris pit's the one that was really worked for fine specimens
Right.
and probably produced the best specimens. And right across the road is another pit that I had the fortune to be able to get into it, but nothing like this that I saw. That's just beautiful.
Yeah. And again, it's another thing where you don't see new ones.
That place is closed down now.
yeah,
You
there
know,
are no new ones.
Rex brought in a big mining company. They did a lot of drilling there in the hopes that they could mine for gems. Didn't work out. So to get a good one like this is going to be a tough go.
Absolutely.
Now, you do have some things in the back that I'd like to take a look at.
Absolutely. Well,
if we
Irv's
may.
going to show you those. They're
Oh,
his
okay.
pieces, and feel free to go back and take a look.
Where's my friend Irv Brown? Hi, Irv.
Hi, Bob.
How are you doing? We just looked at a Bornonite out there, and you said you had something about a Bornonite or something like
Actually, I have its cousin.
that. Okay, let's
And
see
Bob,
it.
I would need to say something. I'd like to say this on camera.
Go.
I went and saw your son Evan's collection up in the lobby. That has to be one of the greatest collections of Arizona minerals I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you because I know you were his biggest mentor.
Well,
just wanted
you
to say
know,
that.
I turned my collection over to him, and it was an international collection, and he just focused on Arizona, and he's done a damn good job.
Well, you know, when you have an Arizona collection that looks worldwide, you know you did something.
Yeah.
Because
he's
those
done
pieces
well.
look like you've taken pieces from all corners of the world, put them together,
Yeah.
and created this Arizona regional collection.
Yeah.
Every piece is magnificent and perfect.
Thank you.
So, congrats.
That's only 100 out of 1,000 that he has. so.
I've been to the house. I actually kind of like it triaged a bit, so I love that.
Okay. Well,
So-
let's see what you got here.
So this
Oh, look at
is
this. Good old
one of the
ring
finest,
Look at
Frizzington calcites.
that. Oh,
And look at that. If you look close, you'll see rainbows. And, you've got the scalinahedrons.
I don't see any damage.
No, there isn't.
Beautiful
Well, you know me. I
terminations.
don't like damage.
Yeah.
But
That is just gorgeous.
isn't that a wonderful piece?
Oh, the English calcites are still unrivaled, in my opinion.
They've held their own.
Yeah.
They have absolutely held their
They
own.
really
Even with
have.
China, they've
Yeah,
held their own.
That's classic. It's
But
marvelous.
I just love that when you turn it like this,
Great
and you can
luster.
just see. And
Good crystal form, everything.
Yeah.
Quite a piece.
yeah.
And that's
One-
Frizzington, of course.
Yeah, it's Frizzington.
You know, the miners over there, because, with the perfect cleavage of calcite, there were a lot of loose crystals. And the miners over there would take a dynamite box, fill it with plaster of Paris and plant crystals in it, and they had competitions trying to win prizes for the best box. Great stuff.
I love the spar boxes. I
Yeah,
love those.
Yeah, well, that's a winner. That's
Yeah.
great.
You know what? The emerald is a
Look at
little.
this.
The
Look at
emerald is a
this.
little, afterthought. But
yeah.
look at the quality
What
of
a
that calcite.
Holy mackerel.
And then you've got little black dolomites in there, and it's just pretty.
And that little green thing sticking
And that
out.
little green thing.
That really sets it off.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
Is that Muzo or Casquez? Or?
I believe this is Muzo. If you look at the emerald, you can see that it's got the blue or green.
Yeah.
More so than the
yeah,
pure green, which I happen to like.
Yeah. I've never seen a calcite that beautiful.
Me neither. And of course, you've got the dolomites in the middle of it, which is
Yeah,
quite interesting.
yeah.
And then if you look really close, you could see little tiny emeralds
Yeah, look at
embedded in
that.
the
Look at
calcite.
that. Look at that. Yeah. That's a jewel.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
It's a fun thing.
Yeah,
it's a fun
absolutely. Any
thing.
calcite collector would kill for that one.
Want to go to Mexico?
Yeah, sure. I'm ready to go.
This is one of the
look
largest
at
crystals from the 1981-82 find, which is the famous one from Magano-Adamite.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that sweet?
this is from the Kareth Graber collection, which is one of the finest.
She has a good eye.
And also another person that had one of the greatest Mexican collections was your son Evan too,
Thank you.
which I remember looking at and thinking, wow, that is one of the most colorful, beautiful cases of minerals I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well,
It is.
just enough color to give it a tint.
just
Wonderful.
enough, just
Yeah,
enough.
Yeah.
Now we know, Bob, we've been around, and we know that the Adamites that come from Mapimi, they can get so pink and so
Oh, yeah.
purple,
Sure.
more purple, and gem. But the size of this is what makes it
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
It's a rather
Perfect
large.
Perfect miniature.
It is. It is.
Really a nice one.
So
Oh, look at this.
this is
Now,
again.
Tell me that's not Austria.
It's not. It's Pakistan, and that does not. In my mind, it does not change it because actually,
Yeah. Look at
I
that.
like the gemminess of the crystals, and Austria
that.
tends not to have that as much.
yeah.
And an Adularia crystal, this is natural art at its absolute finest.
That is a sweetheart.
I mean, look at this.
You know, when you think about something like that forming underground and being mined out and to survive undamaged in that condition is absolutely remarkable.
Well, let's think about this. These things are brought down in backpacks, and they're riding mules, and they're coming down from 12,000 feet.
Yeah.
And look at this; it's pristine, and you've got so much energy, so much dynamics on this piece. You've got individual lepidol crystals going in each direction, straight up. Then you've got this rhombohedral dolomite Adularia crystal, as a contrast. I mean, it's wonderful, and it's a 360.
Yeah, look at that.
So you've got perfection from all angles.
It's a gorgeous piece.
Every time I see a mineral like this, I get choked up.
Yeah.
Because it's just, what does nature do? I mean, we try to make these things, but we can't do it.
No, it's a beautiful creation.
Yeah. You know what? Perfection is any size.
That's true.
And
That's
what
true.
I value the most is perfection.
Natural beauty in miniature. Isn't that something?
And the little crystals in the front are a rare mineral called hammergite, it's a type of feldspar.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
And the blue caps from Pakistan are 1 in 10,000. They just don't have them. And
Don't water it. Don't make it grow. It's perfect the way it is.
I think so. I mean, it's so photogenic. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. You're used to seeing tourmalines that are a foot long, 2 feet long, 3 inches across. That's just an absolute little jewel.
It is a jewel.
Yeah,
It is a jewel.
wonderful.
And my wife loves them.
It's a treat. Yeah.
And that's part of the reason that I started collecting, because she calls them the little things.
Oh.
And every time, I say I'm going to sell the little things, don't sell the little things. I love the little things.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to beat off the thumbnail collectors who want to buy that from you.
One last rarity.
Oh, okay.
Only a mother can love this. But it's probably the finest wortsite in the world, and you've got a diopside and a calcite with it, and it's on graphite.
Sakes.
But
that is a beauty.
it is great.
Yeah.
It's a type of sphalerite, but as they go,
Yeah, but
this is the best.
Yeah. Sphalerite is,
Yeah.
that's got great color. It's really, and size, my God, for a wortsite.
It is. I mean, previous to this find, you talking about this big for a wortsite.
Yeah, it's a brute.
Yeah, it is a brute.
Really a winner. Huh.
And it's from the locality that the tanzanites come from, and the severites.
Arusha? Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
That place,
You
boy,
know.
talk about another place to collect. I mean, there's all kinds of interesting things that come from there.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, that's a sweetie.
yeah.
Well, Herb, you've done it again.
Oh, thank
Good
you, Bob.
stuff.
Bob,
I admire what you do.
and I admire what you do.
Thanks. Yeah, good morning, Evan, my son. How are
Yeah, hi Dad. How are you doing?
Oh, great. How's Unique Minerals doing?
We're having a great show this year.
Yeah. Yesterday you had some of your Arizona collection on display at the main lobby of the Westward Look.
Mm-hmm.
And the comments and the remarks and the enthusiasm that the audience showed, I thought was marvelous. You really blew them away.
Well, it was a real treat, and I want to thank Dave Wasteman for inviting me to display some of my collection. It was
Good.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, you just got a new mineral collection from Shirley Fisk, a young lady who lives up in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Show me something of it.
Okay, well,
She specialized in thumbnails, right?
that was one of her main focuses, were her competitive thumbnails. And here is a selection of, all of these came from her collection. She competed for many years at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show.
Yeah, she was a trophy winner. I know that.
Yes,
Blue
and
ribbons.
beautiful specimens. She had wonderful taste. Each one of these is a treasure.
Yeah, just really sweet little singles and clusters. Marvelous group, and very nicely displayed.
Now this specimen on the left,
It's anchored, huh?
yeah,
But these came out. I mean, my memory tells me there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these that came out. These beautiful stacked brown crystals of pyromorphite, high luster, just really great old things from Bad Ems, Germany.
yes.
I always liked them, and they range from a light tan to this nice rich brown.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
and sometimes green.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this is an exceptional piece from the Friedrichshagen mine. This specimen is from the famous Bunker Hill mine
Right.
of Kellogg, Idaho. Very well known for its fine pyromorphites. This specimen was collected in 1993 or 4, I believe, when Wayne Thompson was involved in a mining project up there.
It's a great contrast to see the recent and the classic.
Yeah. The Bunker Hill mine produced pyromorphites that ranged in color anywhere from a forest green to an orange color.
Yeah, and some of them were yellow. I mean, and,
really
depending upon
quite
the amount of arsenic that was in them.
Quite a range of colors and high luster.
Yeah, wonderful, good. You've got another old timer that caught my eye. Just absolute classic glove wolfenites. Wonderful color, wonderful condition, and I'd get it came out in guess it came out in '54. When they got these, there was so much. I've been in the cave. There's nothing there now, but when they came out, there was so much of it that they had a problem deciding what to charge to sell these things.
Interesting.
And they finally decided on $5 per unit. And a unit was a 4x5 specimen. Now that's 4x5 in an odd shape, but that could not have sold originally for more than $10. Can you believe that? I mean, it's just marvelous to see
times
something
have changed,
like that.
haven't
Yeah,
they?
just amazing.
Yeah, this is a great piece. This large crystal here is something worth mentioning.
Yeah. Well, very little or no damage, just maybe around the edge a little bit, but that's
Yep.
just a great old
That's a
timer.
Great American classic. Yeah. Okay, well, we've got a few special pieces. Back here, let's bring them out. This is recent production. Everybody knows that India produces thousands and thousands of specimens
Sure.
of zeolite minerals.
Sure.
But every once in a while, something very special comes out.
Oh, my
and we think
goodness.
this
Look
is
at
something
that.
that's very special.
Look at that.
This is apophyllite with scolecite.
Yeah. Oh, that is sweet.
Exceptionally aesthetic. Just a wonderful
Is
specimen.
that Nasic or?
Well, it's from Maharashtra State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
all of the
Yeah,
locations
yeah.
are located in Maharashtra State. There are many quarries,
Yeah.
many wells that produce these things, so I'm not sure exactly which one this came from. Here's something fairly recent that came out of Pakistan. This is a wonderful
Oh, isn't that sweet?
pink fluorite
On
on
mica. Yeah.
muscovite
Yeah.
from Pakistan.
Really nice. Yep.
Yep.
Good color, good condition.
No damage, no repair,
Yeah.
high luster,
Yeah.
good color, perfect form. You just couldn't ask for anything
Yeah.
better.
Pakistan's amazing producing things like this. It's really beautiful.
There's been a little bit of recent production at the Red Cloud mine
Aha.
right
Good
here in
old classic
Arizona.
Red Cloud. Yeah.
And this is an exceptional piece that was found recently.
Yeah, the work on those years ago done by a fellow named Wise over in California suggests that the red color is probably due to chromium. Yeah, they're just very, very fine. A lot of people in Arizona claim it's the best wolfenite locality in the world.
And people around the world
Yeah, hard to argue
will
with
make
it.
the same claim.
Yeah.
What's interesting about this, most Red Cloud wolfenites occur on an iron gossan.
Right.
However, this specimen came from deeper in the mine and occurred on a crystalline quartz matrix, which is quite unusual
Yeah.
for the Red Cloud, and it really sets the crystals off with that sparkly
Matrix.
crystalline
Yeah,
matrix.
Yeah, yeah the material that came out a little while ago was all surface work on the vein, and they followed the vein down and they started working it
This
from
is from
underneath.
fairly deep.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Interesting. Well,
one last wonderful thing to show you
Okay.
is this beauty.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Look at the quartzes. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, this is from Santander, Colombia, not far from the emerald mines,
I see.
and
God, look
it's
at the
it's
condition.
very unusual to get Colombian quartz out in this kind of a near pristine condition.
Yeah. I don't see any damage at all. Yeah. Brilliant crystal.
And you can see there's an interesting optical effect. There's hundreds of rainbow colors in there.
Yeah. Yeah. The
as-
diffracting light
Right.
with the odd shapes or the odd positionings of the
Yeah,
crystals.
it's almost an iris effect
Yeah, it's wonderful.
from the lights refracting through
Superb,
these
superb.
crystals. Well,
Thanks, Evan.
thanks, Dad.
Good to see you again. Here we are at the show.
Yep.
And
Another Tucson.
What possessed you to put so many tourmalines in one case? This is wonderful.
It's a beautiful collection. We helped a friend build this, and it's been a joy.
These are all from,
These are all from Brazil here.
okay. And these are...
This is a mixed collection
Mixed,
worldwide. A lot of Brazilian as well. And then this is
this is
African,
African,
Mozambique.
Okay.
And this is mixed down here. So you have some American in the back as well.
Yeah, I see a couple of U.S. pieces back there. Very nice.
Maine, California.
Yeah. You've got one here on the top shelf that's doubly terminated. It looks like it's got really good color, and because of where it is, I can't tell for sure. Can we pull it out of
Certainly,
there and
definitely.
take a look?
You got it.
What's the locality on
That is a Sapo mine tourmaline
Sapo mine.
from Brazil.
Okay. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful
Yes.
transition from the pink to the
Yep.
blue. Yeah, that is something. Beautiful crystal. Yep. That's got a bend to it.
It does a little dislocation
Oh,
there.
yeah. So it was offset during growth.
Exactly.
Yeah,
This right here,
yeah, look at this now.
that's from Madagascar.
Look at the color on that. Turn that other light on, can you?
Sure.
Because I think that's the one that, when you go from one light to the other, you see a little different shade of color.
You definitely do. This is the hot spectrum, and this is the cool.
There you go.
I don't know which one you prefer. I like the magenta here of the cool.
Yeah. It's a little softer, very
is.
nice. Yeah.
Completely clean.
You had a good eye. Amazing. Oh, yeah, very nice. Yeah, good size, too. Yeah. That is really something.
We have a aquamarine undershore from Namibia, Irango, just found last summer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, can you get that out
Sure.
of there? I want to.
Yep.
That shoral or something else. Look at that. Nice color. Yeah, nice aquas. But the brilliance of the shoral is something else in crystal form.
The
Wonderful.
crystal form is perfect.
Good heavens.
The luster is fantastic. And the balance of both minerals.
Yeah.
what makes this-
No, well, the positioning
the
of this
positioning.
on that dark background really shows it
Aesthetically
off.
speaking, it's
Yeah.
it's
So
a
that's
wonderful
from the
rock.
Orongo, huh?
Yep.
I didn't see anything like that when I was there.
No. Generally, the aquamarines are a little more blue, but they're included. They don't have this gem transparency. There was one other specimen of quality found. I'll show that to you as well.
Good. Oh,
This
here
one's
we
a
go.
little bit more dramatic here.
Good heavens, look at that. Beautifully positioned crystals up on there.
Which one do you prefer, Bob?
Do I have to choose?
No, you can have them both.
Yeah,
You can have your cake and eat it
yeah,
too.
lovely. Yeah, I love shorals, and you know, it's a black mineral. So what?
I love
It's
shorals too.
gorgeous, you know, great crystals. What more could you ask for?
Well, you know what? As a tourmaline specimen, they're really coming into their own.
Good.
Into their
I'm
own
glad.
realm.
I'm
Yep.
glad. You know, and then you know, dressed up with a spray of aquas, that really sets it off. Good contrast.
Stacked, and then
Yeah. Good grief. You know, how more beautiful can a crystal specimen be? And that is from
that's from
Pedernera?
Pedernera. They call this specimen the Cranberry Crown. Aesthetically
Cranberry
speaking,
Crown.
it's one of the most memorable to ever be found.
Jeez.
You know, there was more often than not, the tourmalines from Pedernera are blue or green.
Yeah.
So this cranberry
Yeah, and
is so distinct.
Yeah, the same all the way through. You don't see any variations in shading. Huh. I don't want to handle it. But that
We
is
can
a
pull it
wonder.
out.
I'll let you do it.
Okay.
Gee, look at that. Look at the backside. My goodness gracious. Really something. Yeah. Quite remarkable. Excellent luster. Couldn't ask for a better positioned set of crystals.
That's a wonderful rock.
We go from beautiful color to colorless. Where's that from?
That's the new find in Arkansas from the McEarl trend.
Okay. Glass clear. Good grief. Do you have any idea how big the pocket was that came
The
out?
pocket was massive.
Was it?
Yes, but the majority of it was damaged. There was a very small percentage of very high quality aesthetic pieces, and it's continuing. This is one of the best
Really?
finds of the century. Yeah, the quality of the quartz coming out of there,
Yeah, you can't get it any nicer
you
than that.
cannot. No, this
It's
is
absolutely razor sharp, clean as a whistle, beautiful terminations, excellent faces. Yep. Really, a little bit of frosting on one prism face there.
I like that little druzy,
Yeah, it kind of dresses
Sprinkle.
it up a little bit.
but it's perfect. The tips are in.
Just amazing. This is one I don't believe.
Yeah,
You know, stillbite is stillbite. Come
True.
on, it's just, you know, it's a nice mineral.
Sure.
Forms little bow ties. But this one is bow tie galore. It's marvelous. And from India, of course.
does it remind you of a seahorse, a question mark? What shape does
Yeah,
it?
take your pick.
Yep.
That's marvelous. Yep. As I mentioned a little earlier, how can something that fine, undamaged, come out of a gas pocket in basalt I don't think I've ever seen a stovebite as good as that.
Nor I. I
It's got
agree
the
with
nice cream color. It's not the stark snow white that often lacks luster. These are very lustrous, beautiful creamy color, perfect positioning of the crystals. Just really swell. In the old days, it was not unusual to assemble a lot of crystals like this. This was often done in France and in Germany and Europe, and they would get different types of crystals from a museum and figure them all on a sort of a poster-like arrangement. I've seen several different types like this. This one just happens to have a barrel on it that Dylan has tracked down.
This is a Russian barrel.
Look at that. And it is figured.
It's figured right here on this.
Yeah, right there.
Well, this part is in Russian. This is in French.
Okay.
And we can't seem to find what publication this was in. We know it's not a book, so it was in a periodical or a magazine. We don't know which one.
Yeah, well, some of the museums did posters, which they then proceeded
If you
to sell.
see right here, there's an author right in the center.
Okay.
So we know that this was
Part
2
of
pages.
part of a publication.
Part of a
Yeah,
publication.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. You know, if
And
you,
for a barrel from the Urals, this is just fabulous.
oh yeah, yeah, that is really nice.
It looks Brazilian in many respects.
Yeah, it's really something. Yeah. Well, mystery. You got to
It
solve
is.
that mystery.
We're gonna get
anybody
down-
viewing this thing, if you've ever seen this before, let us know where you saw it. Oh yeah, look at that.
With beautiful, beautiful
It's
calcite.
wicked color.
Yes, the color is fantastic, and it's sticking out almost 2 inches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's something.
This is
You know,
Muzo.
One of the things that I've noticed here at the show, and I've seen 2 or 3 emeralds on matrix now,
Sure.
you know, 20 years ago, you never found something on matrix like this, never. Because down there, all they're interested in is gems.
Right.
And when I was underground in Muzo, with the superintendent, you know, there were several emeralds in a calcite vein. He just took a rock pick and went chop, 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 and had the single crystals in his hand, put them in his pocket, and no matrix. And now somebody's finally gotten smart, and they're collecting some of them on matrix. They're not totally gem, may be the reason, but that's such a jewel.
Interestingly enough, this piece came out over 20 years ago.
Did it really?
Yep.
Well, somebody had the smarts to do that.
To hold on to it.
That's wonderful. It's from China, I would guess.
Shangbao.
Yeah.
Fluorites on calcite.
The remarkable crystal form. You get cube faces, octahedral faces with multiple growths on them. The color is very, very nice, and you couldn't do this without glue. I mean, they're so well positioned, not repaired, just lovely.
That's what makes this piece exceptional, is the
Yeah,
three-dimensional nature of them.
Yeah, right.
Generally, they were
Look at that.
embedded in the matrix. This
Yeah.
cube,
Yeah, that may this
octahedron
sets it
rather,
off.
yeah, sitting on top.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you see different crystal forms in the same pocket over there, which always makes me wonder what the heck was the environment like for this kind of growth. You know, it's just wonderful. Sardinia, no doubt. Iglesia. Isn't that something? Look at that. Cadmium colored smithsonite. It's quite a piece. Look at that. Must have been something to see pockets and seams lined with stuff like this.
Oh,
You know, they had stalactites. I bet if you cut that, you'd see a beautiful
the banding.
growth banding in there. Don't you dare.
No.
What a nice rock.
And into Good Luck Pocket rhodochrosite, which
There
we
we go.
all love
The
and
classic.
And cherish.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that nice? Boy, look at the color on those.
the color is just outstanding.
Gem.
Yep.
The black is what, tetrahedrite?
Tetrahedrite crystals. And it's so rich in manganese.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, yeah.
That's what gives it the color.
You gotta,
for
yeah,
rhodo.
right. Yeah, it's what do they call that? A self-coloring mineral? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, those are gemmy. Yeah, that was really the first not significant, the first important pocket they found in the 1990s when they were working in a sweet home. And it's really what put them on the road for more mining. And I didn't see anything like this quality when I was underground there, but still, you know, I saw nice crystals in seams, but this is a jewel. You know, beautiful gemmy rhodochrosites. Look at that. Look at that. Yep.
And this was found last summer.
All right.
Actually, it was last spring. This is Jackson's Crossroads.
Oh, okay.
This is a beautiful amethyst with a starburst.
Look at that. Yeah, in a quartz pocket.
In a quartz pocket.
Yeah.
It can be displayed horizontally or vertically.
I don't think I've never seen anything in that geode presentation the way that is. It's a seam that has been exposed and with this wonderful purple amethyst.
The color is exceptional.
Yeah, it rivals the Korean and the Russian amethysts for color. It's really wonderful. And this little guy sets it off. It's beautiful.
That little rosette,
Yeah.
little starburst at the top.
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks.
thankful for you, Bob.
No, some
pleasure
great
to see
stuff. Great stuff. Rudolph,
Hello.
welcome again to Tucson. You've got some great things again.
Thank you. Coming
Wonderful.
by.
You've got an old timer here that I'm just absolutely in love with. It's a fluorite from Spain. I know it's been out of the ground a long time, but can we pull that out of there and
Yes,
take a look?
of course.
That is
You're welcome.
look at the cube growths on those
Yeah,
faces.
the crystallization is very fine and it's
It's
very
marvelous.
architectural. Yeah.
Just marvelous. Now that had to come out of the ground quite a while ago.
Yeah, that's found maybe about 20 years ago.
Yeah. And
But I just got it from a collector
old-timer?
in Austria
okay, yeah.
who's just reducing his collection
No,
a
that's
little
fine.
momently,
Recycle. Yeah. Well, what's the exact locality? You know?
It's from Spain, from La Visca.
La Visca.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. This.
But look at the
Look at the
the
marvelous.
structure of the piece.
And that is from Dalnagors?
That's from Dalnagos.
Wow.
And
Look at all those rounds.
yeah, all this the sparkling is by a small generation of quartz.
I see.
Yeah.
So
I had a close look under microscope. It's
wonderful.
well visible
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some scientists would have a field day having fun with figuring out the temperature and the pressure under which this thing grew. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's no damage. I mean,
No damage at all. You can look at the back side.
Yeah, look at that. Look,
It's
yeah,
having
yeah,
some
yeah.
small calcites again.
All right. That's a winner.
It's beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
the remarkable thing about this is that the lack of damage and the beautiful myriad of crystals, free-forming, free-growing, just marvelous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful specimen. The color is perfect, very, very aesthetic. Yep. And that's from the classic locality, right?
Yeah, it's from the
Okay.
classic locality.
Okay, beautiful. This is a remarkable display of golds from Brazil. It's just wonderful. You can't say enough about them.
Yeah, this
It's
is,
so
I mean, the case says it all. I mean,
Yeah,
I got these after Munich, and
Did
I
you?
believe I've been maybe the first dealer who went to Brazil directly to see the find.
Okay.
And that's the reason why I got most of the really good pieces
Okay.
from the new find there.
Yep.
See, look, I show you the biggest in the beginning.
You know what that reminds me of is the old seahorse nugget.
I mean, look at that size.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest I have seen so far in with that good crystallization.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been smaller with a little better crystallization, but you know, if you see the size
Look at
in
that.
combination, that's really marvelous.
Yep. Rounded cubes.
Yeah, and
herringbone.
it's good all around.
Yeah.
You can see.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just and the luster on these, the color.
I've never seen something like this
Yeah,
before from
Marvelous.
Brazil.
Well, here you can see the cubic basis for the crystallization. It's wonderful.
Yeah, and you can very well see the hotpot growing. Many of the
yeah.
pieces have the hotpot growing, which is very high valued by the collectors.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yes, and that's one of the best I got.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is
beautiful
well,
herringbone.
beautiful
Yeah,
herringbone
yeah,
crystallized. Yeah.
Just wonderful. Well, you know, it surprises me here at Tucson every year. Something
Yeah.
new, something special.
Yes.
And these are certainly special. And they're from the Mato Grosso
Mato
region.
Grosso,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
All right, Rudolph, thank you very much for sharing all that.
Thank
I
you for
really
stopping
appreciate it.
by.
Thank
It's
you.
always a
Thank you.
pleasure to have
Wonderful.
you here.
Yeah. See you again next year.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe in
See you.
Munich. Maybe.
Yeah, and maybe in Munich. Yeah.
Anton, nice to see you again.
Hi, Bob. Nice to see you again in my room. Welcome in my room.
Welcome to Tucson. You always bring very fine minerals with you, and you've got something here that really surprised me when I read the label. You have a hematite from Europe, of course, nice hematites, but that's from Austria.
Yes, this is an
Very
iron rose
unusual.
from Austria. This was found a couple years ago in the Mörchnecker area, Zillertal, Tyrol, Austria.
Look at
it's
that.
one of the biggest that are on matrix still.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely rose.
Look how nice it formed. It formed in several blades and several crystals.
And the
Forming
loca-
this wonderful rose.
You know, when we were working on the video Gemstones of America, one of the places we went was Maine to photograph the tourmalines from there. And you have one that's a real nice old-timer that we need to look at.
Yes, I was
It's
very
right over
lucky
here.
to acquire this fabulous crystal from Maine. It was once again the famous old dealer Walter Knobloch who brought
Okay.
this to Austria.
Look at that.
And he kept this in his personal collection for a long time.
And the
And
terminations.
he passed away in 1985 already, and then the piece came to his daughter, to another collector,
I
and
see.
to another one, and then I was very lucky to acquire this
That's
just a
cla-
couple weeks ago.
It's classic.
A classic
Maine.
classic Maine,
It's just
as
wonderful.
good as they get. I think it's
Good
the
color.
top color, the top green and the bluish green in the center. And look at the termination. Actually, it's a cluster of two crystals. You
Okay.
can tell by the termination here. It's
Yeah,
two
yeah,
terminations.
yeah.
So it's a composite cluster of two crystals in parallel growth.
Now, the exact locality is,
It's Dunton Mine,
okay.
the Plumbago mining project. This was the famous old Plumbago mining project at the Dunton Mine.
Okay, beautiful. You know, I admired the color of the tourmaline very much, but you've got some heliodors that are a very fine color too.
This
All right.
came out just end of 2015. A surprisingly nice new find, I think. And you see the full color variety
Yeah.
in one pocket, which is really a surprise. I've never seen any heliodor pockets in the world that produced this wide color range. You see from a very, very strong, intense yellow,
Look at that.
as good as it gets, to a very nice green.
Have they analyzed the cause of color in those?
No,
Do
they
you
have
know?
not been analyzed yet. So it's
Marvelous,
very new
whatever it
production.
is.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And the terminations.
Yeah, I love the
So
termination.
unusual.
Yeah. This is a secondary growth,
Yeah.
obviously. Of
Wonderful.
another smaller crystals growing on
Yeah, yeah,
the bigger
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Let me show you the biggest crystal
okay.
from this pocket, because this shows another color shade,
Oh, my
which
goodness.
goes actually to blue.
Look at that.
In the center, this is blue,
Uh-huh.
golden, and the tips,
Yeah.
doubly terminated.
Look at that.
Yeah, I love the way the termination forms.
So
You
unusual.
see the originally beveled faces.
Yeah, a lot of faces.
Going at an angle, to
highly
the,
modified.
to the
yeah.
prism faces,
Yeah.
and then the secondary growth on top. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I wonder if that got etched slightly and then those grew, or
Yeah, maybe.
someone needs to look at those.
Someone
It's
needs to
very
analyze,
interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, this piece came from the famous jewel box pocket.
Oh,
Jewel
okay.
box, why did they call it like this? Because the luster, the clarity, the color,
they're gorgeous.
it's all there. And
Yeah.
they had, in many years of mining, they had not many pockets that produced this quality.
Beautiful
You
cubes.
see, the clarity, no inclusions inside. Yeah, that's actually a famous piece, also illustrated by Hilde Könighofer.
That's right,
And shown in
that's
Lapis
right.
magazine
Yeah.
several times.
Here we are, just in daylight, and that thing is glowing like it's, just remarkable. And they know that there are some rare earth element traces in there, but just which one is causing that blue response, they don't know. But it's a marvelous example of ultraviolet from the sun directly into a specimen without any outside influence. It's just marvelous.
Yeah, I think
Wonderful
the color has totally changed. When you remember the almost emerald green inside,
lovely,
and here
lovely
it's
green.
blue like an
Yeah.
azurite.
It's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you.
Magnificent color change.
Anton, that was wonderful. I loved your fluorite and your tourmalines.
You're very
Good stuff.
welcome. My
Good
pleasure
stuff.
to show you my
You
rocks.
brought tears to my eyes with that Maine tourmaline, I'll tell you. That's a good old timer. Thank you.
Hi, Bob. How are you?
See you.
Good to see you.
Bryan Cosner, one of the great collectors. And I knew his dad back in the good old days when we both collected.
And I've known you my entire life. So
Yeah, you've got some great rocks.
Thanks,
there.
man.
I love your adventures in South America.
Yeah.
You know, the Bornonites from Bolivia and things like that.
Yeah.
And now you've come up with something that surprised me.
yeah, we have an unusual copper here. I mean, crystallized copper is obviously well known from Michigan.
For sure.
But something like this, it's not your typical copper. First of all, it's not from the Upper Peninsula. This is further down, and it has a pseudo-scepter habit to it, where you can see this large pronounced dodecahedron
Right.
with a secondary crystal on the top. Not a real scepter, some people even call it a mushroom, but this formation and the size of it, this is well
Yeah.
over 2 inches,
Yeah.
and this is almost 2 inches across. And then you flip it over on the back.
Oh, look at
and
that.
look at all these crystals on
Yeah,
here.
marvelous.
These are sharp, well-formed copper crystals and
elongated,
large
yeah.
for the species,
Yeah, yeah.
from anywhere, it doesn't
And
matter.
Now the locality is Point Prospect.
Point
that's
Prospect.
That's what caught my eye.
Yeah, it's an unusual locality, not really well known for its copper specimens in this quantity. This piece is actually published in Rocks and Minerals
Is it?
from, I don't know if I've actually got the information here, but it was pictured, I want to say about 15 years ago in the magazine.
Okay.
They did a small article on this material. They actually leach them out from what I understand. There's a bit of the host rock
yeah,
remaining
yeah,
in
yeah,
here
yeah.
to get these things. So it's not your typical assemblage, but I love it for what it is. And you can see, hold it, it's heavy. That's just solid
yeah.
copper throughout.
That's for
there.
sure. You got another rock that brings back memories for
Oh, yeah?
me, and that's an emerald.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This Colombian piece here.
Yeah, but the color on this is just so intense.
And it's
beautiful.
very lustrous, well formed, and you actually have stacked group of crystals as they come tapering down. The thing I like about it is that you really don't see a lot of emerald specimens where the crystals are exposed off of the matrix. They're always embedded or buried laying down, and this is actually freestanding above this calcite quartz mix on here, and the color, you know, Muzo is the best in the world. It's just no question. The color is really rich, even for I wouldn't say it's a small crystal, but it's not a really thick crystal either. Very intense, well-formed hexagonal crystals on there. And again, the aesthetics, you've got that slight angle to it to give it a bit of an artistic approach.
It's beautiful.
But it's gemmy, it's bright, and this to me, I love this size. This size specimen that fits in the palm of the hand, that just barely fills up your palm. This was always my dad's favorite size for a specimen. Maybe just slightly bigger for me, but I always think this is the ideal mineral collecting size.
Nice. You've got a calcite that I don't believe. I really don't believe it.
It's really cool, isn't it?
How can a calcite like this be dug out of the ground in that condition and have absolutely no cleavages, no damage whatsoever?
And
I
they're
don't
gemmy and lustrous and
Yeah.
sharp. We should tell people this is from Sarbayskoye in Kazakhstan. I've never seen one quite like this.
My God, that's
I
marvelous.
got this a few months ago. Every crystal is your classic dog tooth habit, but like you said, every point on there is perfect. And not only are they sharp and lustrous, but you can see through them. And the thing looks like a porcupine or a hedgehog, we'll call it whatever you want, but you can display this one too from a lot of different angles,
look at
and it shows perfect scalenohedral crystallization all the way around. Really good quality, regardless of locality.
Yeah.
To see calcite like this in this quality and size
Doesn't come any better.
no, it's
Really doesn't.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's
and,
wonderful.
you know, I always like to have classic minerals, the company's named Mineral Classics for a reason, going into European localities,
It's
getting stuff
definitely-
like this. It's always more interesting to me to have something like this than, let's say, a large tourmaline or, you know, typical gem crystals, just because this is mineralogy. This is cool stuff
It's
right
really
here.
pristine, beautiful.
This is the famous yellow smithsonite from the Masua mine in Sardinia, in
Iglesia,
Italy.
Yeah.
The yellow's typically cadmium that causes that intense color. The reason I love this piece is that this is a full band, complete, all the way around. There's no breaks, there's no interruptions, it's not broken. To see the concentric layers and this backside unpolished, you can see the front side with the polish on it, how brilliant this material becomes. To have a complete growth all the way around, this almost cathedral style growth. And you can see in the center there's very pale beige colored that goes into a bit more brown, maybe slightly iron bearing or and maybe heavier on the zinc. And then that cadmium comes in there and you get that lemon yellow. There's only one place in the world where you get this intense yellow, lemon yellow cadmium.
Anyone who collects classics
Oh yeah,
Got to have a
yeah.
specimen.
You
of
need to
this.
have a piece of this in your collection. And from what I understand, I think this material came out in the 50s, and that was the last time they ever mined it.
Yeah, that's about right.
So I mean, you're talking over 60 years ago. You haven't seen it in any capacity. I love it. I think, and for an uncrystallized mineral specimen, this is really attractive to me.
Well, it's got historical value too.
Oh,
you know.
absolutely.
And when
Well,
I-
flip
when
it over because people can see. You talk about the history of it. This piece was originally valued at $10. Remember the days when he bought rocks for $10?
I'll double your money. Yeah. I saw 2 specimens of this material in Munich 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
They were, you know, the one was the size of a dime, and the other was the size of a quarter.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, you know, when the show opens, I should get those.
Sure.
When the show opened, they were gone.
No kidding.
I mean, that's how quick
Scoop
this
them
stuff
up
goes.
as soon as you see them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just a Brazilianite.
Just a Brazilianite.
Tell me
it was
about
only named after an entire country. Yeah. So everybody knows the story. I'm going to break down the fourth wall, and the guy behind the camera here, his dad was responsible for bringing these into the United States. Completely new species.
Yeah.
They knew it was a phosphate.
Yeah.
They didn't know. They thought originally these were chrysoberyls, some kind of odd chrysoberyls
That's right.
originally. Brought them back. Ed Swoboda brought these to Fred Poe, and Fred realized brand new mineral. Everyone wanted Fred to name it Poite because Fred was such a respected mineralogist. You should have a major species named after you. And he said, no, this needs to be named after Brazil. They should have their own mineral because this is such important material. This dates to the early 40s. We were talking maybe 41, 42, somewhere in that era.
42,
World War II era when Ed was down there and brought these things back. You can go ahead and hold it, and I'll talk about it a little bit more.
It's a gorgeous crystal.
This color is not only distinctive, it's amazing that there hasn't been anything else found in the world that's quite this hue. This beautiful, vibrant yellow-green is not seen really in any
you
other
can
mineral.
recognize these anywhere.
Yeah, across the room, you can recognize a Brazilianite.
Yeah.
The thing I love about this is not only is it large, well-formed, defined crystals, but in the center, and I don't know if you're getting this through the camera, but it's nearly water clear. There is large zones of transparent gem areas of Brazilianite in there, plus the fact you can see this is, 3 inches?
Excellent size.
Yeah,
My
huge,
gosh.
huge Brazilianite
Beautiful
from the
luster.
original material. So the connection here is that you're holding a piece that's not only 75 years old, but originally Bryan's dad certainly
Brought it
carried
to
this thing into
this
the
country,
U.S.
right.
from Brazil
Yeah,
originally.
and then Fred identified it as something
Yeah.
new and
So-
named it Brazilianite.
I love the material. There's really only one place in the world where you get good ones, even though it's been found in other pegmatites.
Yep.
Brazil is still
That's it.
the premier Correggio Frio. That's the place where you get them, and this is certainly not only a classic, but iconic for what it is.
Yeah, this is well worth having in your collection because of the history, the people involved, and of course the quality of the specimen.
If you like gem crystals, you
Yeah,
know, you don't need
there it
another
is.
burl or a tourmaline. Get something like this that's not only colorful and historic, but actually is really only found in one place in
Yeah,
any
that's
quantity
right. It's a rare
or
one.
quality
Yeah.
for specimens.
It's a rare one.
So,
Great, thanks.
thanks,
Rich.
Bob. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Mike, good to see you again. Mike Bergmann.
Bob Jones.
Nobody knows me.
That's good.
I understand that you have a property here in town now, here in Tucson.
Yeah, Sally and I finally found the right property, and it was a big job. We got it, but yeah, we are just finishing up, and we have a great little house here.
Going to escape all that snow. Huh?
Yeah, Illinois is, as age continues, we decided to go where the sun shines all the time in the winter.
Too many people have already.
I know, that's a great thing.
You got a rock in here that I like because of the twinning form of the crystal, and it's a rarity. Let's face it, the Carolite is so unusual, I think. Beautiful crystal, perfect luster.
And the
Really
completeness of the crystal, it's complete on the backside as
Look
well.
at that.
So
All right,
it was a good one.
gorgeous piece. This thing is huge.
Yeah, this was one of the good ones from the most recent time in Lenopolis, and it's a
Look at that.
Sucrus.
I don't even need my glasses for this one. This
Yeah.
is gorgeous. My God.
The thing that I love about it is even the edges on them, everything is perfectly terminated.
Yeah, I don't see
So all
any
these
damage.
doubly terminated crystals.
Yeah, and the color is intense for the mineral.
Right.
Wonderful.
Yeah, this is a good one. Out of the fine, this I would probably rate in the top 5.
Yeah.
Because it was just one of those pieces that had the aesthetics, the color, the luster, and of course damage free.
Yeah, most of them you see are, they're this big.
Right. Yeah.
Look at the size of these in here. And this color is good. You know. Huge piece.
Again, you know, the thing that's important about that is that there is no damage, and on a piece of that size.
Yeah, that's tough because the crystals all around, they're not damaged. Did that came out during the big find?
Yeah, this was the last find with Bob Hooper, and again, it's a piece that has been recycled back into the market, but certainly one of the top pieces in a large cabinet.
Yeah, Kellogg's closed completely now.
That's my understanding. Yeah, there's no more.
Shame.
The thing is, you can't see it, Brian, but this little bug that looks like nothing, they got little pyros back in there. You see them going up in there? So you've got them going from the limey green to the orange and then the big orange crystals. So, you know, it's definitely a good one. And, you know, just the overall size of it to be damage-free.
Yeah, for anybody who wants, you know, this type and wants this type, you got it all in one rock.
The unique thing about this one was the size of the crystal. And the color is spectacular. You know, I haven't had many big ones, but we are getting them.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at the color in that thing. You know, beautiful crystal form. What more can you want for a scapolite? You know, usually a scapolite's kind of ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
This is great.
No, they have that orange ambery look.
Yeah.
And
that's from near Arusha?
Yeah, it's in that same mining district. There's some coming out of Morogoro too, so
look at that. I love it. Oh, look at the color on that.
Yeah, the anglesites, the old ones.
Yeah. Yeah, those are still hot. Yeah.
This one's kind of nice because it's a complete flower. And again, if you look at the edge wear, they're perfect.
Yeah.
So you have zero, and the contacts aren't there. So I just like that one just because of the flower.
Right. You've got some other things that I got a glimpse of, some new things out of Brazil.
Right.
Can we look at some of those?
Yeah, let me go grab them. They're right back here. These are a pocket from last year, January, at the Cruzeiro mine, and we're currently working with the pocket. It was more of a Pedronera style pocket because the pocket had collapsed when it was opened up, and they're starting to be assembled, and these are some of the fruits of that.
Oh my goodness.
And to give you an idea.
Look at that.
And you know, you're talking a 9-inch crystal, inch thick, but probably the best rubelites in the world. Jonas certainly had a great color, but these go from gemmy, like down at the bottom and so forth, to these great colors. And when I say Pedronera style, I say that because it's going to be a big job putting them together, but my son's named that one the X Factor.
Look at that.
So to give you an idea of the size and the color of that.
That's lovely.
Again, these are, I think...
what do you think caused the pocket collapse?
You know, a pocket that size, probably just earth movement, you know, because these guys were aware of, you know, it being there, and it was completely collapsed. So, you know, they had to take out all the tourmalines, and then they took out all the matrix and so forth.
The jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, now we're in the jigsaw puzzle, but we're finally seeing some of the fruits of that. And a couple other things that are new out of Brazil, which is close to the Cruzeiro, are the Chia mine pieces that you may have seen, and they're just spectacular. They're a little bit different than the find from years ago.
The color gradation is lovely.
Yeah, and the thing is that they're complete gem at the top, and the old ones would have a little bit of pink here, and then the rest green. But again, this is that's 8 inches. So
ARF and ARF.
Yeah. That said, this is kind of interesting, and this is new, and I hadn't seen this before.
This looks like a Hawaiian war club.
This one is not the typical because it's got a distinct blue in it as well.
Huh.
And of course, we don't have lighting, as we can tell, but so you see the blue here, so it's going from this blue pattern here, and an incandescent looks better.
That'll be done.
So
you haven't even cleaned that yet, have you?
No, this is fresh out of the ground, hasn't been prepared at all. But again, I hadn't seen any from this area that had the blue, green, and pink. And then it goes back to blue at the bottom. And then you may have heard of the new golds.
Yeah, the tourmalines are great. Let's see some of the good stuff. Just kidding, just kidding.
Thanks, Bob. These are some of the new golds that have been produced that are out of this new find very close to the Brazilian border.
A modified herringbone. Looks like you got a Spinel twin going there. I'd have to take a better look at it.
Here, have a look. These things are crazy. I think they're going to
The
go.
luster is just magnificent. This has got to run up in the very high 90%.
You know, we haven't had it done yet. We will do it.
Can't have much silver in it.
But the fact that they're this size, you know, 4 fingers,
look at
and
that.
with those type of aesthetics, I think this is going to go down in history as one of the most important finds.
Look at the crystallization in here. Beautiful.
This one I like. Look at this thing. This thing's like a floater octahedron, and so you got these, you know, skeletal group here, and then these secondary growths. And the thing about these, when they get really good, it doesn't matter how you turn them. They're just phenomenal in every direction.
You have to mount them on a turntable. Isn't that one?
These have, you know, personally loving the native metals.
Anyone who loves gold has got to have one of these. These are wonderful. Look at that. The crystallization is just remarkable.
And the sheer size, you know,
and
they're
luster, holy mackerel.
8, 10, 12 centimeters with this crystallization is just incredible. It's hard to pick one for my collection. I'm just not sure.
Just keep them all.
Well, my son said, well, we get a pick too. And I'm like, no, you don't.
Up here,
It's a known location,
In
but
Brazil.
yeah, and my understanding is right now there's a little bit of a situation there because there's high grading going on. And who knows? It could have been this one prime area, and they could be done.
Sure.
None of us know that.
When you see a miner coming out of the tunnel and he's staggering, you know he's got something in his pocket.
Right. Bryan, I wanted to show you a couple others of these Cruzeiro pieces because the neat thing is these things are coming on citrine quartzes.
Look at that.
As well. And this one has got the included tourmalines. I don't know if you can see it inside the quartz.
That's wonderful.
So
Cruzeiro has been producing for decades and decades.
It's always had the finest rubellite, in my opinion, you know, of any of the Brazilian mines. There was another area that produced on lepidolite. So you've got the purple lepidolite with the tourmalines.
Man, I don't need my glasses for that one.
And again, the sheer crystal size and aesthetics. And here you can see some of these look like a barcode.
And it's been tipped with a very dark rubellite. Yeah.
So we've single crystals that we hope might go on matrix, and they'll go dark, almost to white, and then all the different variations of the color. I don't know if you can pick that up, Bryan, but they're pretty unique. So,
thanks, Mike.
Great seeing you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. See you, Bryan.
It's always great to see you and be here. So last year I heard you got a lot of collections that you brought here.
Yeah. A lot of what we've brought here to the show this year is new since Munich. So, we had a great time with you guys in Munich, and since then we've had some pretty major collections from all over Europe, and one really major one from here in the States. We bought Jesse Fisher and Joan Koretz's tourmaline collection, which is a very famous collection.
Absolutely.
So we're going to show you some of that.
Good.
And this is it's the only good one of these I've ever owned. Very small pocket, and these beautiful barite sprays included with realgar, which gives it this fantastic
The morphology is
colour.
very special of it as well.
Yeah, just superb. Very happy to have that.
Yeah, great.
And this came from one of the collections we bought in Europe. There's a lovely story with this. This was actually carried out of the mine by Kirby Sieber back in the 70s.
Okay.
And he sold it to Herr Müller, just outside of Zurich in Switzerland. We were lucky enough to buy his collection last year as well, and this is just superb.
Absolutely. Unusually large and well-shaped, well-formed. Well, the hydroxyl herdrite are in fact very rare. So here is one from Dasso in Shigar, here is one from Iseddace, it's Dasso in Haramoso. There are many localities with the same name, but in fact geographically completely different. And associated with the topaz, it's very unusual.
Super combination.
Absolutely, super. Not many of those.
Yeah,
Nice
I've never had one as good as that.
No. This is best group, I have a large, beautiful crystal, but this is very unusual. Mau is a great pegmatite.
This was one of my favourites from Jesse and Jones' collection.
Yeah, that's a
Look at
great
that for
one.
a super
From the Pesh
combination.
Valley.
Just fantastic. Good luster.
Yeah, lovely morganite.
Super thing. And I won't take this one out. I don't know if you can focus on that,
Yeah,
Brian. This is
don't bring that
super.
out.
This is the front. This was the front cover of the Lapis magazine, I think 2 years ago. The beautiful rutile on smoky quartz from Brazil.
With a hematite
Just,
in the center.
Just wonderful. This one, of course, you know. It's quite a
The
famous
King
specimen.
Mine. Yeah,
A
viewed up the
genuine King
ferrite.
Mine.
Yeah, exactly. From the old days.
1920s?
Yeah, probably 30s or 20s.
Doubly terminated.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, this was a good pocket.
pink. Very good.
Very gemmy.
Yeah, very nice. And you saw the piece I collected already.
I did, yeah.
This one.
This
we
is
gotta see.
this is a new find.
Yeah.
It's Ledlamite from Brazil. It's the same location as the Vivianites we had previously. And this
Yes.
is, but these Vivianites are super, and they're not on pyrite, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So they're not going to decompose.
It's really like a geode, you know. Great.
Some super things here. This is one of my favorites. This is this is super.
One of the great Neudorf Galenas on siderite.
You can't beat that
Sun
combination.
quartz. No. I mean, this is. There are some beautiful iris, a beautiful galena, some other, but this is, I think, the best locality, really.
One of the real classics. Swiss hematite's lovely.
Yeah, a nice matrix. Beautiful. Old piece also, it looks like.
This specimen's not all about the specimen.
No, it's
You know,
some
this
old
is- look at this.
old mounting from some museum, I
It's not-
assume.
they're not stuck on there. So.
No, I'll keep it.
Just have a look at that and look at the label that comes with it. Dating from the 1800s.
Yeah, in German. Beautiful.
Great bit of history.
Yeah, from European part of Urals. Lovely.
things.
This is fantastic. Old Sardinian cobalt. That's lovely.
Yeah, one of the great things as well. Look at the labels.
Absolutely. We saw some Sardinian pieces earlier, but this is, very rare. Beautiful piece.
Just lovely to have the old 19th century labels to go with the pieces. And
yeah, that's a lovely miniature. The morphology is very unusual. How the growth around, is in fact forming.
It's like a stalactitic ribbon.
Exactly. Probably fast growth that's forming it, because sometimes they're the sturdy crystals, and then you got the rare of this type.
This is from Namibia.
Yeah, one of the new Kaukofeld. Very large crystals.
This came out about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yes,
And,
but fairly recent and very large stout
super.
crystals. Beautiful.
they don't have the combination with the calcite like the Sumeb ones, but they're
it's
huge.
Huge and very well shaped. I mean, here they're freestanding crystals and beautiful group. Yeah, this is a beautiful combination.
Yeah, this was the front cover of the Lapis magazine
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Great.
This from a location that I'd never had a specimen from before.
There are a couple of alpine florites, except for the alpine cleft ones that are really, really fine, and this is one of them. There's one in Switzerland, and of course near Milan also, some purple, blue, and quality pieces.
And this is one of my favourites as well. I always love
Combination.
this specimen. It's
From Irango.
killer combination with these fluorites with aquamarine.
Yeah.
Superb. Only one pocket.
Yeah, very nice. Beautiful.
Look at this.
Nice. Almost like the ears,
Yeah.
Very nice. And the little Florence mine, the nice blue color.
I always have to get one English classic in
Yeah,
there.
but in fact, this size for Florence mine is very good size, and they're so nice blue and with the contrasting.
Yeah, it's that combination is what makes it famous.
Yeah. This is, very good size for there.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you in fact put out all the bathroom rocks you already put out here, so I don't even have to ask you.
No, this year we decided we'd put them out on display,
Yes.
and we have no bathroom rocks this year. But I think we're going to pass over to Deanna, who's going to show you something that we're very proud of.
Okay, I'll be happy to see that. So your greatest treasure you wanted to show me now?
Yes, something I'm particularly proud of, but I'm sure also Ian is very proud of. And this newest issue of Rocks and Minerals, and we are very proud that Malcolm Southwood, who you may not know, and very good friend of ours, has written an article about the Ian Brucite, named after Ian, and we're very proud this made it in this month's issue. Yes. And it's really great. He wrote a great article, tried to capture sort of a little bit of a vita of Ian and the whole mineralogy aspect obviously as well. So we're very, very proud that this made it, and that obviously Malcolm, who is really a dear friend of us, managed to write the article.
And it happens to be a blue mineral, which is also the mineral.
Yes, matching the theme this year, of the TGMS. So it is a blue mineral, and yes, it's very great. But one thing I'm also particularly proud of, and it's not mentioned in the article, but you know, one of the characteristics of that of the Ian Brucite specimen is it absorbs alcohol.
In the structure, yeah. That fits very well.
I think that fits very well. I'm not sure.
Good morning, Will. Good to see you. Morning. Good to see you as well. We have some fine things here in the show cabinet. I would like to focus right over here. These are new gold specimens from Pontes y La Cerda in Monte Grosso State.
In Brazil.
In Brazil, and they came out just a few months ago. Most of the material was unfortunately, I think, melted at the mine, but a few of us crystal lovers were able to get some buyers there and preserve some of the lovely crystallized gold.
Very nice.
And they were in a pocket, so the crystals are very sharp. And the array of different crystals, you can see just the complex ones, more open, spinel twinning. So there's all sorts of different shapes and sizes. We'll see some bigger ones later.
Great.
This is a very, very old specimen that was basically buried for, I don't know how many years, but a lot. The miner passed away, and his estate basically stayed together until it was recently resurfaced a few years ago. His name was John V. Mitchell.
Okay.
So it's from his collection, and it was pretty amazing because it had his helmets and his work things from Bisbee and everything, and I believe all that's going to the one of the Arizona museums. So, but that was one of his finer pieces. Well, why don't I take you guys into the back, and we'll show you some really good things that are new. So here we have a very, very fine emerald crystal.
Oh, that's beautiful. A bit flattened, color, size is perfect. Color is beautiful.
Color is just perfect, and the transparency, everything. Not much you can say.
No.
Just a great piece.
Even a large miniature,
Yeah.
Size. Yeah, beautiful, and with a matrix. That's a fantastic piece.
Just perfect.
And your father is not keeping it.
Yes, he is.
He is keeping it. Yeah.
I think he's going to keep this one.
That's what I wondered.
Yeah. This is really one of the.
That's a real beauty.
Right.
Yeah, that is a real beauty with the matrix.
Yeah.
Lovely color, lovely shape.
Yeah.
What more can you wish for?
It's quite actually transparent at the top. The color.
Color is super.
Yeah.
And in matrix.
Yeah, hard to get the two, and the composition is great. They called it Clouds on Mountains down in Brazil. You can kind of see that.
Of course.
And it's great because it really is. It's doubly terminated here and here, and doubly terminated here and here.
Big floater smoky.
Terminated here and here. So just really
with a later stage, white clear one.
Just a lovely specimen.
Yeah, very unusual.
Safe.
Oh, a nice Burbus.
This is a very nice Burbus that Bill has had for many, many years. I will attempt to lift this. There we go. Oh man,
I think those clear purple are really the nicest with the barite.
You can just see them right inside.
Yeah.
It's just a really lovely specimen.
Yeah, lovely one. The amazing thing, this is right above the nice beaches of northern Spain. This Burbus area, some of the best fluorite mines. There are many, many mines there.
Aquamarine Topaz specimen. Yeah, it also has smoky quartz and a tourmaline here with Cleveland.
Very cool, man. Have a look at
so it's like a mineral collection in one specimen.
Yeah. Doubly terminated topaz. There are really not so many of those, in fact, from Pakistan, you know, or the combination. Very few.
This is from Paprock, tourmaline on quartz. It's a kind of a famous piece. It's been, featured in our ad. It was in the Ron Gladnick collection.
It's a very sweet piece.
Really
very, very nice.
To continue with pegmatites and tourmaline, this is a very nice Elba specimen.
Extremely large tourmaline for Elba.
A lot of the Elbas I've seen are about that size on matrix, and you're happy. But this is extremely large and extremely great aesthetics.
And this is from one of the last decades mining, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Yes. One of Federico Pezzotta's projects. This is the slice of pizza.
Okay, Japanese one.
A slice of pizza there?
Yeah.
This is a rhodochrosite from the Opu mine in Japan.
Yeah. It's perfect for your collection.
Covering pyrite, you can see, so the rhodochrosite was secondary. Yes. This is a very nice classic, a chessie on matrix. You don't see a lot on matrix. You see chessies and by themselves, but to have it on matrix like that.
Nice piece.
Really a sweetheart.
Chessie produced some incredible things.
Yeah. So here's a few more of the thumbnails. So it was quite a large production.
Yeah.
But some
nice
of my
morphology on all
some of my favorite small ones are in this box because
cute.
You get these with in the luster and the color is so great. Look at the shape is great.
Sweet, very varied morphology.
The morphology is pretty varied, and big crystals on the side, and then on that side it's the other formation.
Anything with wires at all in any of them?
Not really. Most of them are just big crystals, and there must be a high content of copper because they're very, very yellow. This gets really exciting. Here's some of the larger ones.
Yeah, these are the ones I saw in your car.
Yes, exactly. I showed you these a little while ago.
Yeah, just when you arrived.
Yeah. In fact, I got these so recently you can still see some of the pocket clay.
Wow,
I haven't even had time to clean them, but
no, this is one of the nicest suites of anything at the whole show. When you showed me that, I haven't seen any suite of
as for a new production, it's really, really exciting.
Very exciting.
Yeah. It's just a sweetheart how
beautiful,
elongated it is, and perfection.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I think
this one's put them out for sale tonight, and tomorrow people can come and have a chance.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Here's one of my favorite, maybe not for size, but for aesthetics. This one is truly a killer.
Yeah, that's good. That's beautiful.
Yeah, I just love the aesthetics of that one, and it's great on both sides again.
Absolutely, and different from both sides.
So different, yeah.
Very nice.
I think they first started finding them in April of last year.
Yeah, and a great big one.
This is the
still
big
with
one.
a beautiful
structure. The structure is just great.
Yeah.
The way it goes down from here to
Very
here.
sweet. And luckily they saved some of them.
Yes, yeah. We have seen a video of one of these crystals about this big, and they're just hacking it.
Oh my God.
And divvying it up between the miners,
So
Nothing you
sad.
can do.
No, always good to see you.
Always good to
luck
see you.
tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
I'll talk to you soon.
Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good.
So I see quite a few new things here as well.
Yes.
Some good things and some new. So how about the big tourmaline?
Well, the big tourmaline was in a find that came out last year from the Capellina mine. And this is the second largest crystal that came out of that particular find. It has got a nice green streak in the middle of it. It has albite and a little pedalite in it. And it's just a fabulous 15-inch crystal.
Yeah, it has a good blue color.
Blue color. This almeite is a very fine specimen. It's perched perfectly on the matrix. It's got great color to it. And
from the Kalahari manganese field in South Africa.
South Africa, that's correct. This one is actually supposedly one of the largest almeites to come out. Does not have the best color to it, but it certainly is a great piece.
the little spray with the azurine on it,
Yes.
of a great crystallization for epididymite, which is not often found with such good crystallization in it.
No.
But it's a beautiful little piece, and this large one here is nice.
And the old classic locales, even 1 centimeter crystal was a good size one.
Yeah.
This is very unusual from Potrerillos in Chile. It's cuprite and copper, but copper in wire form, which is in fact very rare in comparison to crystallized copper. It's a really sweet.
All the
piece.
wires looks just like a wire silver, except it's copper.
Yes, the wire coming out
at the top there.
Yeah. Sweet piece.
Has the electric blue look to it on the top. There were a
Yes.
few pieces of this material. Many of them had been in the Houston Museum, and they found a way to find themselves relieved from that museum, and so they went to various collectors around the world. This is one of the few that we know that's still available. We've been told that there are no more large golds being allowed to come out of Round Mountain like this. They're all going to the crusher, but this one has a nice sheet gold on the side. It is completely crystallized all the way around. It's actually a floater in the biggest sense of the term. Very nice gold, very hefty.
Yeah, typically you don't see such large, solid.
Yes, that's correct.
Pieces from there.
I'll show you this. This is a Prustite.
Yeah, from Niederschleimer Erzgebirge in Germany.
Yeah.
Very nice one.
The story is that Siegfried Flock used to go from East Germany to West Germany to East Germany in his car.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read his accounts, he had secret compartments in his car. So he would get the Prustites and bring them back at his own risk in secret compartments.
He had probably what was the most well-documented German collection of silver minerals from Erzgebirge.
Yeah.
I visited them many, many years ago.
It's a nice color, red there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful specimen. Well, Peter, I have something I want to show you that's very special. We commissioned Viktor Tuzlakov, who is one of the world's premier gem cutters, as you know, today, to cut some spodumene for us that we acquired last year. It's blue, green, and violet spodumene. It's fantastic, and I can't wait to show it to you.
Great. And what I understood, these were old crystals from Maui that were found 31 years ago.
They were in an old collection in the area for 31 years. At least that's what we were told. And Victor's cut is called Heart of Planet. It's his own design. A 547 carat stone. Has a bit of blue and green in it. And it is a spectacular cut. Beautiful stone.
Yeah, he's the master of cutting.
And this one has a little more violet. This one is the big brother, and it is 700 carats, 700.5 carats. And you can see the color in that one as well. Yeah, you were mentioning the pleochroism, a trichroic of this stone. You see the violet here. And if I move the stone this way, you see what looks probably to the audience a little bit yellow, but it's green. And then if you flip it this direction, you're going to see some blue. The other stone has a little bit more blue in it than this one, even though they were cut from the same specimen. But what makes everyone should be aware that spodumene is indeed one of the most difficult stones to cut that there is, because it has cleavage in two different planes. And if it gets too warm, it'll cleave. If it gets so you have to cut very slowly. In fact, the initial cutting of the crystal itself, what took on one cut was 11 hours to cut one cut just to get to the rough that we was going to cut. You see, I can see the purple. I'll flip it this way.
Beautiful.
Maybe you can see the blue at that angle. I don't know.
That's a fantastic stone. Well, thank you very much. I barely dare to shake your hand here.
That's all right, Peter.
Always great seeing you.
Oh, great to see you, and thank you for coming in.
Great stone. Good luck with this one. I'm sure somebody will be very interested in this.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Here's another beautiful case. This is a little different. This is presented by the Gemological Institute of America, GIA. and they are an educational school testing laboratory of all gem materials, identifying the different materials when somebody brings in a stone. Is it synthetic? Is it real? Is it this? But anyway, the GIA is a very important part of the whole gem field, and this is a fine representation of faceted stones, made up jewelry, even carvings, the elephant. And they have a beautiful case here, and needless to say, look at the different blue stones, because it's all a blue naturally for our theme this year at the show. So you have a whole array of different cuts and blue stones here: sapphire, kyanite, benitoite, tanzanite, iolite, labradorite. So the GIA is a testing laboratory, and they are the ones that do the testing and verification of any material. Dealers or private collectors can have it done. They get a stone and they want to have it identified and verified that it is indeed the stone that they're buying and paid for. These people are experts on this, known all over the world, and there's other testing laboratories, but the GIA is the best known in the world. And they've done a wonderful job over the years, and when you get a certificate from the GIA, that's just like getting a guarantee that your diamond is a diamond, and it definitely has a certain color to it. Anything like that, they're tops at that field. So it's a beautiful case they put together. What we have here is a magnificent case of mixed minerals presented by Bill Larson and Gene Meieran. And there's some real choice things here I want to go over with you, but they did a hell of a nice job putting this together. One thing that caught my eye when they were setting up is the deepness of the aquamarine right there. I've never seen an aquamarine that deep. It's a deep, deep blue, and you don't see that color very often in a large crystal. And of course, I love tourmaline in the back there. Look at that beautiful thing, right? A ball of Clevelandite, rubellite. Speaks more or less the same thing. Another one I like, I know the specimen from Bryan Lee's from the Sweet Home mine, that singular rhombohedron rhodochrosite on the needle matrix like that. That's about as good as you can get in a hand-sized specimen, an isolated crystal nestled in those needles of quartz. Absolutely a gorgeous thing. Razor sharp termination, killer specimen. Those are just some of the highlights. Here's another one I like too. Look at the color of that aquamarine. Once again, you get that deeper color. You would never see that. So here you have one in matrix. Years ago, here we can get about a 10-carat stone out of there. They cut it up immediately. Would never save it as a specimen. In that the theme is all blue. This is a French collection, all these fluorites. These are all fluorites in this case, and they're all from France. And the gentleman that participated, Alain Martaud collection, this is his private collection. And what's so unusual about it, it's all blue, number one. Number two, the varieties of blue. Number three, fluorite is one of the top few minerals that people build just one species collection. Fluorite is a way up there. I can't say it's the top, but it's a way up there. Fluorite is very, very popular because of the variety of even the crystals can be different, the colors, even within the blue. Look at the shade of blue in this one right here. You have a multitude of different bluish color. So not only the crystal and the crystal shapes and the forms, in this case it's all blue, but there's other colors as well, and there's other crystallizations as well in other colors and from other parts of the world, needless to say. But keep in mind, this is from France only. You're not looking at a world gathering of fluorites from different locations. So it gives you an example from one country to come up with this much color in blue, let alone be all fluorite, and let alone be all different types of crystallizations in there. So it's a wonderful exhibit and very different. Okay, what we have here is another beautiful case of azurites from Bisbee, and this particular case is presented by the University of Arizona in Tucson here, and they did a beautiful job of selecting various types. Once again, some of these are totally different than the other cases we saw. Those two big ones back there are truly magnificent museum type specimens. So I would say it just gives you a feedback how important this Bisbee mine was over the years that produced all these wonderful specimens. It's my understanding that this collection came from Princeton University in New Jersey, and it was very nice that they were able to acquire this collection, and now it's in the University of Arizona. Julian, how you doing?
Hi, Dave. Good to see you.
Nice seeing you, and I understand you have a fine exhibit here, and you have a book here, and you're going to explain it to us, what you have, and
right.
Go ahead and show us some of these fine minerals and that nice book you've done there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I co-authored with Bob Cook from Auburn University the second edition of the Minerals of Georgia, and the original edition came out in 1978, so it's almost 40 years old. Okay. So it was in severe need of updating.
Okay.
So we worked on the book for the last 10 years, and we had a great editor, Jose Santamaria, who's at the Tellus Science Museum, helping us to get the book in production, and then we pitched the idea to University of Georgia Press, and the project was great.
Very good.
So we came out with the book.
Mm-hmm.
It was just released last week, February 1st. We had a book release event at the Tellus Science Museum. Went very well, very well attended. We've been getting good reception for the book. But the curator at Tellus Science Museum did a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
Sarah Christensen put together an exhibit case based on the minerals of Georgia, because a lot of the minerals that are in the Tellus collection are depicted in this book.
Okay.
And they're actually on exhibit here, so it's a very unique exhibit case.
Very much.
And she did one more very clever thing. On some of the labels, you'll see a page number referencing the book. So if you're here at the Tucson show, for instance, you can look on page 64, and you can see see the calcite from Pickens County, Marble Hill.
Very good.
Yeah, and there's many of my old friends. I used to curate the Tellus Science Museum collection.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, because of the distribution through a major publisher, this is going to be available at major bookstores.
Very good. That's important.
Right.
We need exposure to the public, so it's so important.
Exactly.
I'm really happy to hear that.
And the first edition was published, there was a small run, and it was published by the Georgia Geological Survey. So unless you were a scientist and knew where to get these publications, it had more limited access. But there were still hundreds and hundreds of collectors who were, like me when I was young, were inspired by this book, the original version.
Very good.
But having wider access, we think that we're going to inspire the next generation of collectors to study Georgia minerals.
Very important.
Right.
Congratulations.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Dave.
So we're here on the main floor at the TGMS show, and I'm standing in front of a tribute case to Fran Allegra. Fran Allegra was a dear friend of mine, and to many other people here. He was a passionate mineral collector, a fantastic father, and he was actually a Superior Court judge. President Clinton had appointed him. Wonderful man, kind-hearted, terrific guy. His son was on the What's Hot in Tucson program last year up at the Westward Look. He was one of the collectors on the streets, and unfortunately we lost Fran this past year. He passed away in August, and we all miss him very, very much. So we have a case that was put together here by a combination of work from the Fine Minerals International and the Mineralogical Record, honoring Fran's memory and some of the great times we all had with him. There's a really nice photo here of Fran with his two kids, Danny Trinchillo, myself, my son Mason, and Bob Jones, when we were all together up at the Franklin mine in New Jersey, filming an episode of New Crystal Hunters, which will be coming out very soon. But this case is to Fran and to his sons and to his wife. We miss Fran very much, and he'll always be in our hearts and always part of our community. Thank you.
How are you doing? It's so nice
that
to see
happy
you.
smile, I like it.
That's all we've got, you know, the happy smile. What we can keep all the time with us, you know.
You gotta have it.
Absolutely.
Sells the rocks,
yeah,
doesn't
absolutely.
it?
I hope so.
Yeah.
You know, it's so great to see you, Dave. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, and I'm seeing a
Fantastic.
lot of beautiful minerals, and I spotted some very fine things you have here,
Yeah, thank
as
you, man.
usual.
Thank you.
You're
I
doing
appreciate
very
that.
well.
Yeah.
It amazes me the wonderful tourmalines coming out of Afghanistan, and this is a double with the matrix of albite. And you don't see too many separated like this. You see mostly singles and what have you. And you have two here. They're absolutely extraordinary types. And it's a moldy color, what they call bicolored moldy color. And that is a truly beautiful Afghan specimen that you got there. And I really, really am happy to see so many wonderful tourmalines coming out of the ground. It's a fabulous thing. So
You know-
people should really enjoy these and get them when they can.
Yeah, you know, Dave, what is so unique about this piece is, like you said, you know, you can get single crystals or single on the matrix, but the unique point about this specimen is you can see the termination on this one. This is razor sharp.
That's right.
And this one is a little bit different than that one.
More flat pastel type, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a bit different termination with a bit of bluish color.
That's
so
right.
on one matrix to get two crystals with a
That's
different
right.
habits, like
Very
that's something
unusual thing.
you know.
That's
to
what
get
I
there.
caught. It's a
Yeah.
very unusual
So-
specimen. This is an extraordinary thing because it's double terminated. Both crystals are double terminated there, and that's just a wonderful specimen. Boy, do I like that.
And no repairs, of course.
No
usually,
repairs, unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's
Both
a
the crystals
wonderful
have a doubly
piece.
terminated.
Yes, they are. No, that's a real showpiece.
Now, what is so great about this pink one I like is it has a little microlight on the bottom and it's doubly terminated.
There it is, little
Yes.
microlight right there.
And then usually you don't get double terminated. Top and then bottom is rehealed as well.
That is correct.
Yes.
Now, another thing I love about these, what I call peppermint pink,
That's right,
intense
yeah.
pink, is that very few of this color came out compared to all the other colors.
Other colors, that's correct,
They're
yes.
highly desirable for
And what I
that.
like is when you put a light,
Yeah,
it
look at
glows
that.
really cool.
Beautiful.
You can see how it glows from top to bottom. When you put the light from the bottom, it also glows from the bottom too. You know, the locality for this pink topaz, they produce really less. You know, they do produce not many crystals, but the color on this thing is really super nice. And to get it on a matrix, of course, is always special to get this quality on matrix.
The intensity of purple in this, as far as the pink topazes of topaz around the world, it's the most beautiful pink color.
Absolutely,
They have
yeah.
fabulous pink color.
Yeah.
And they really are hard to get.
They're
a
very difficult
small.
to get. Yeah, to get it on matrix and in a good condition.
That's right.
I think normally it's very, very difficult to get those.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the color is very intense, deep
That's
pink.
the
Because
thing.
I am aware of only two localities, Brazil and Pakistan, that
Yeah.
produce the deep pink color.
Yeah.
You know, Dave, the fun part for Tucson is what I like a lot is the surprises. That's what
right.
the whole show is about.
Very much so.
So because of that, I've got a surprise for you too, you know?
Good.
So it wouldn't be a best part that if I don't have surprise and you see my
Exactly.
minerals. Do you want to
Okay.
have a look at it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
do that.
The material that I'm going to show is it's the first time that it's been produced from Afghanistan.
Okay.
It is apatite, purple apatite.
Okay,
But the fun
very
part
good.
is it's so special that nobody have seen ever from Afghanistan this type of apatites.
Okay.
So are you
very
ready
good.
for it, Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
This
That's a
is
wonderful
actually
miniature.
found in a pocket where they produce tourmaline. They've been
Okay.
working on the pocket. The mine is a Parwoon mine in Dareh Page in Nuristan, Afghanistan.
Okay.
For the past 20 years, they've been finding tourmalines, and all of a sudden, it was 6 months ago, they open a pocket and they find a huge pocket of this purple, elongated purple apatites, which was wonderful. And I was so lucky to buy the whole pocket this year. And, you know, I'm thrilled to show you some of the
Very
pieces of
good.
the pocket this year, you know?
That's a beautiful, what we call the miniature size.
I think so, yeah.
Beautiful.
Especially the
It's very
shape
hard
is
to
really
get
good.
purple apatite, period. You don't
Yes.
see a lot of purple. You see the other colors, but purple.
Absolutely.
Lavender purple, a beautiful thing.
Yes. Now, this is something huge purple
Very
crystals
good.
sitting
Look
on a
at
milky
that.
quartz.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Yeah, we're so thrilled to get
beautiful.
this, you know, it's something special. Because I have some of the people that I know that there's one US locality who produce similar to this apatites, you know, in mines, I think the mine name
Beautiful.
is, yeah. Yeah, it's very
always exciting. Every year something comes out of the ground that's new. That's what we love in the hobby.
And that's the best
See
part
that.
of Tucson as well. And it comes to Tucson and people have a chance to have a look at it in Tucson. All the surprises, all the new finds.
Yes.
And this is a great find for us from Afghanistan.
Very much so.
From the Tourmaline locality, you know.
Very good.
Yeah. There you go. It's super gemmy, razor sharp.
Very nice. That's all right. And these came out when?
6 months ago.
6
It was
months
found
ago.
only 6 months ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This is all the gemmy crystals.
Okay.
And that's the largest of the crystal as well.
Very good.
And you can see they're all gem clear. With a good color though. Usually you see purple apatites, not great color. You can see sometimes
Oh,
gemmy,
these-
larger crystals, but you have a gemminess and a good color. They're so hard to find.
Yeah.
Dave, it's always a
Take
pleasure.
care.
Thank you very much for coming.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good
thanks
job.
a lot. Okay, thank you.
Michelle, how are you today?
Hi, it is. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.
In Tucson, in the paradise.
Oh, very much so. And you got some real nice goodies here to show us. So why don't we go through there and I'll tell you what I've spotted in here that I really like. You have these large fluorites from France, and they're so large and they're blue. That goes with the show. It's all blue.
The color of the show.
And then you have a couple other things.
That is the reason we put on side for Tucson. Just for
yes, very much so.
That morganite is from Brazil.
Okay, what's so fine about this is from Brazil, as you mentioned, and what's so fine about this is the intense rose pink. You just don't see this type of color, even from other localities. So it's an extraordinary color, needless to say, in a combination of matrix with smoky quartz and Clevelandite. It's a beautiful specimen. Now, if this was just the regular light pink, it'd be very nice. This is exceptional because it's intense pink. So you can be proud of that specimen. It's a wonderful piece.
That is the reason I chose, because
that's right.
It is unusual.
That's right. What's nice about that rutile, it comes out.
Yes.
It isn't just laying against
It's like
it.
an explosion.
It's like a porcupine.
Yes.
It's very fine. I like that on matrix like that. And shipping that around, it's amazing because that could be very delicate. It's a beautiful piece.
About that fluorite, I am a fluorite collector, and they come from the collection of my friend who was a director of the French Office of Geology. Now he's retired. He loves the big specimen, and he proposed me to buy that 2 pieces.
Very good.
Yes, and
that is huge.
You can see the combination of that 2 big crystals with quartz.
Yes.
And the color is intense. The color is very intense.
That's right.
And that one is different because that one, the color is different, and the interest is because the crystal, the major crystal, is very large.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, for that locality, very large, way above average size for
And
that
every time
locality.
they are with quartz in that locality.
Yes.
And you can see phantom inside.
Yes.
That is an interesting.
Oh, that's
specimen.
interesting. Is that a chloride on there or something? Yeah, that's beautiful. That's different. Then I like that big piece down at the bottom there.
You
That's
like
a
that
beautiful
one.
thing.
It's a new found from Katanga.
Oh, yeah.
Congo Katanga.
Gorgeous thing.
They are stalactites of malachite transformed in chrysocolla.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's a museum piece. No question about it.
Look,
Yeah,
it
a
is
face.
like a face.
A face.
With eyes.
Very good. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Hey, Dave. How you doing? I'm doing very well. I understand you've got some specimens in this booth here. Huh?
I do, yes, sir.
Good. And be glad to see them because we're filming all over the show and finding beautiful things. And
good.
See what you got.
All right.
Okay.
We have some very fine fluorapatites from the Foot Mine in North Carolina.
Oh, very good. Okay.
These were out of the collection of Jack Aker. He was the mine chemist, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And he collected for 30 or 40 years.
Okay.
And kept everything in his basement, and we bought the whole collection.
Good for you.
Crystals over a centimeter from this location are very uncommon.
Okay.
And this piece, we call it the chain.
That's
has a chain of 2-centimeter crystals of a kind of a burgundy color.
Yes.
On an unusual matrix.
Unusual, very much so. In fact, the color is so different, I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a shade like this. It's
Right.
very different.
We call it cranberry, but if you take it out in the sunlight, it goes kind of purple.
Yeah.
So there's sort of a color change.
Yeah, I say.
This here is a very nice example of the rhodochrosite on the fluorapatite that comes from the mine. And what's interesting about the rhodochrosite from the foot is that it's pegmatitic in origin, as opposed to being formed at a silver mine or silver deposit.
Well, now, look, are these apatite and that's the rhodochrosite?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, that's different, isn't
Yeah, it's an unusual
That's out
occurrence.
of the same mine.
Out of the same mine, yes, sir.
Very good.
The mine did get the wonderful bright purple that people love so much, and these are large crystals.
Very good. Look at that. And when were these dug out?
Sometime between the 60s and the 90s. I can't say for certain.
And were they in your collection all that time?
No, they were in the collection of Jack Aker, who was, I believe he was the mine chemist.
Oh, very good. Okay. Good luck.
Thanks, Dave.
Tony. How you doing? Fine. I'm doing fine.
Always great to see you, Dave.
Well, thanks, Tony. I appreciate it. It's always nice being with you. And I'm very, very surprised that this fabulous collection is being publicly shown now, because it was kind of put away, I heard, from Dave Idle when he passed away, and the parents had the collection. And then they gifted it to your museum, the LA County Museum.
That's right.
Yeah.
They just finished the donation just at the end of this last year. They started giving it back in 2006. Gave the first portion of it and lent us this whole suite for us to display in the museum and tell the story. It's a tragic but still fascinating story of a young collector who made his mark very quickly in the fine mineral world and had exquisite taste.
That is correct.
And was driven,
very much,
as you have been, to put together a collection of fabulous minerals.
That's very true.
Each one, has its own personality, and each one is perfect.
Yes,
in its own way.
No, it's a great collection.
But it certainly the tragic part of the story, of course, is that he died at such an early age, the age of 26, and very quickly. From
brain aneurysm. That's right.
Right. And it devastated his parents.
Yeah.
And of course, they did not want to part with anything that he had that was such an important part of his life.
Yes.
And that's why they kept it together.
I see.
Certainly, they had to field a lot of offers from dealers who wanted to buy particular pieces, but they wanted to keep it together in his memory.
That's so
and
nice
that's
they
what we
did
intend
that.
to do.
That's wonderful.
Keep it together in his memory.
Absolutely, and it deserves it. And I'm
so the
very
dealers
happy.
can't come by and make us offers.
Exactly. No, and that's the way it should be. No, keeping that intact, it's a good honor for him because, as you say, he was a young man, and I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. 1 week prior, believe it or not, down in San Diego, he had lunch with us, and he had a terrible kind of a headache. Yeah.
So it was coming on.
Oh, yeah. I told Dave, get that checked out. A week later, he dies.
Yeah.
Just a bad headache. Yeah. But anyway, we miss him, but very happy the museum got it, let alone the LA Museum, because I lived in Southern California most of my life. A lot of people don't know that. They think I'm from Cleveland, but no, it's really Southern
You're
California.
an honorary Californian.
Yeah, there you go.
An honorary native.
You're right. Tony, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Beautiful job done. How you doing? You won again. What? This is wonderful. The Desautel's Trophy. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
And I can see why. You got some very, very superb things in here.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'll point out one because it's the best one I've seen so far. I'm not saying it's the best. It's the best one I've seen so far. But you have that Vietnam deep, intense sapphire blue. The color of that blue in that aquamarine is unbelievable. I mean, that's even better than the ones that are deep blue from Brazil, the color.
Yeah.
So that thing caught my eye immediately. And needless to say, is from Sonora, Mexico. That's a nice, wonderful kind of a ball type rather than just a plate of those azurites. That caught my eye very much so. Then, of course, a nice long tourmaline, emerald from North Carolina. I recognize that type, and beautiful, the cerusites. No, you got a lot of lovely things in here. Now, I have to be honest, what is this mineral? I don't know that mineral.
The Targasite?
Yeah, and I'm not familiar with that.
Targasite actually comes from the same locality that the spinel on the right side of the case.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's sort of an iron manganese, or magnesium, I'm sorry.
Very
silicate.
unusual, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got an angaphite matrix. Those are very rare, by the way. Horribly rare things to get, especially on matrix. That's very fine. And then this here, the spinel, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I wish you could take that one and look at the back of it, because it's a twin, and it's complete all the way around.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a textbook.
Oh, that's
twin.
wonderful.
Yeah.
And a good red color. Now, I've seen those, they're kind of drabby looking, but that has a nice deep red color to it. Then your cerussite is fantastic from Sumab. Oh, it's a beautiful case.
Oh, well, thank you
I can
very
see why
much.
they chose it. Beautiful silver, scheelite.
High praise from you, Dave. You're the guy who kind of started, the modern collecting style.
You're doing extremely well. No, you got a bunch of lovely things in here. You can be proud.
Well, thank you. I thought of you when I had the emerald because I think once upon a time you had a big North Carolina.
Yeah, I had. It's the second best now. The best is the big one, much better than the one I had, but still second best because there's two double terminated crystals like this, and then one shooting off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the best for a few years until they found this fabulous gem one in the Houston Museum on Matrix.
Right.
That's by far the best. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, what is your actual favorite specimen in here?
I would probably have to say it's the Memetite from the Allura mine.
Okay, the one we shot, I believe, a year ago or so. Yeah, that's a killer. I haven't seen a better one.
Yeah, I think that I just love the Memetites from that mine.
Yeah. And it's so hard to get good memetites, sharp crystals like that. It almost looks like pyromorphite. Naturally, the crystal form shows that's memetite. So that is really a world-class specimen. Once again, you can be very proud of having that. Oh, you got a wonderful case. Keep up the good work.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
a lot. Take care. Jesse.
Dave, how are you? How's the show treating you?
It's doing very well. We're filming a lot. We're having fun and a lot of good stuff. In fact, I was quite amazed to see the fabulous English fluorite group you have here. So give us the kick on what's going on now.
Basically, what is in this case here is a representative sampling of specimens that have come out of the mine in the past 17 years that my partner Cal Graber and I have been working the mine.
17 years now.
17
Oh,
years,
the
yes.
time goes fast.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
We originally envisioned this to be a couple years of collecting and having some fun and traveling around England during the summer, and it turned into a real business.
Really?
Yeah. Gave us enough money to keep us going for a good bit of time.
Yes.
And so the case here is a sampling of specimens that I've kept from most of the major pockets that we've discovered.
good. Okay.
This essentially is my pay for the project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Being an underground mining operation, it's fairly expensive, and
very much so.
And the partners have never taken a salary, so this has been my pay, and Cal has an equivalent selection of specimens in his own collection that he's kept over the years.
You closed it down, it's finished, or what?
Well, it's looking problematic at this point. An operation like this, as you can imagine, is very expensive.
Yes.
To run. It's an underground mine. We have to blast, muck, timber, drive, tunnel. It all adds up.
Yep.
And this past year, we ran into a few road bumps, as you might call them, that are going to end up costing us a fair amount more money.
I see.
And so We're exploring the options at this point, but we've got bureaucracies that we're up against.
Yes.
And also the lack of available skill. What we're doing here is a mine that was sort of standard operating procedure in this area 50 years ago. This is an antique mine. It's a small underground operation. People don't have the kind of skills anymore. The reality of it is that it's just not financially viable to do something like this.
Now,
even when you get stuff like this out of the ground, you can only earn so much money for it. And if it doesn't cover the overhead, then after a while,
Thanks,
Dave, thank you.
I'm very pleased to give you a presentation of a few cases here. In fact, this whole island is dedicated to Rock Courier that passed away a month or so ago, and Rock Courier was a very good friend of mine, as well as a friend of many, many people in our mineral hobby. Rock Courier was truly a wonderful mineral collector, and he's been all over the world. I saw pictures the other night that showed him in so many different countries. So he was an avid mineral collector. He went right to the source, to these mining areas, and actually selected out a specimen or two or a whole lot because he had a business. He was in business as well. So what we're representing here is this island dedicated to Rock Courier, and he has some astonishing things that he's collected over the years, and we miss him very much so. They had a wonderful party the other night I attended and got to see these pictures of the actual sites that he visited over the years. So, everybody loved Rock throughout the world. He got known, very easygoing guy, and we are going to miss him very much. And it was a pleasure that I was able to be with him. Went on a trip one or two times together and so forth, not a trip for minerals, for other businesses. But anyway, I'm very pleased that they did a very good memorial setup for him. What we have here is another case of beautiful Bisbee mineral specimens from the Bisbee collection in Bisbee. So this is their collection they assembled, and it would be a historical thing that they did keep back. And they have these at the Bisbee mine, and you can take tours. You can go to the mine, and they have I believe it's daily, but certainly 5 days or 6 days out of the week. So you have a nice assemblage of malachite, azurite. But anyway, it's a beautiful case. So this case actually belongs to the Bisbee Mining and Historical Museum collection. So we pretty much covered that. And one reason you're seeing all this because the theme is all blue this year. Well, this specimen, in this case, you're going to see are bookends out of petrified wood. It happens to be my specimen, but I thought it was so important to let the general public know that petrified wood, in this case from Arizona, this particular bookend set is 265 million years old, with a portrait of whatever you want to imagine it is, and this makes this a very special set of bookends. So you have the two little white ears, and those are quartz geodes. You have the eyes coming down. You have the nose and mouth, kind of looks like an animal. But the thing of it is, if you go down further, slowly, it's a dress. And you have the two arms coming down, and then the hands going up. So it's what you call a portrait by nature. The chance of ever seeing anything like this again with this combination is probably 1 in billions. I mean, it's a horribly rare phenomenon over the years, and the petrification of the petrified wood from northern Arizona, north central Arizona. It's a natural piece. When they made the bookends, polish it up, it ended up coming out with that portrait like that. You'll never see that again. It's a one of a kind. That I can promise you that. What we have here is a very unusual case, and I'm going to explain it because last year we had a very unusual case. This case belongs to Gail and Jim Spann, and last year they did a case with minerals with my matching Barber bottles, 16 bottles with 16 minerals. It made a big hit in the show to the general public. So what they like to do is have a little fun with the crystallized, any type of minerals that they have in their collection, put it with what man has created from the gem materials or the ore materials, what certain things could be made of. So what we have here is teapots this year. All these minerals, beautiful minerals of various sizes, various types, are accented by man, or should I say the human ability to come up with a teapot. It's a fun thing, and it's more of a deal for the general public than the serious type mineral collector. And I highly appreciate what Gail Spann came up with the idea, because this gets a lot of attention from the general public as well. So she has a very fine collection of teapots in here with the beautiful minerals, and it just makes sense to have what came out of the ground and what can be produced later on, because these teapots, one way or another, have a lot to do with the earth, the clays and the glazes, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, it's a clever idea, and this is the second year she did this, and everybody loves it because it's just something a little different.
Hey Dave, how are you? Good to see you.
Nice seeing you again, and we got some new things here that I'm walking by. Wow, some gorgeous things. You've been doing one wonderful job.
Thank you, Dave.
What I'd like to ask you, Don, is kind of give us an idea when you started, because you've only been at this a few years, and here you got a major collection.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started picking up small pieces when I for maybe 10, 15 years, but it wasn't until I started watching What's Hot in Tucson that it really piqued my interest.
Very good.
In worldwide minerals.
Happy to hear that. Yeah, great. And anything else? Have you followed all the way through the What's Hot in Tucson?
Well, first I bought all the back issues because I didn't subscribe to Men Record, but since I've subscribed to Men Record, I get those now because of Bryan.
Very good. Okay, well, you got a number of pieces in here.
Thank you.
And what are some of your favorites?
Well, one of my favorites is the tricolored spodumene. We call it the White Dragon because of albite. The albite looks like a fire-breathing dragon.
It really does. Yeah,
but
when you
that's
think
all
of
natural,
it.
100% natural.
Yeah, that's there's a head there.
Yes.
Very good. It's very unusual for another reason, because see what you have in that spodumene, if you didn't have that albite attached to it, they would assume it was just a plain cleavage and it could have come out of the mine with a cleavage.
I see.
But because the albite on there, that face there is probably natural, and then the beveling at the crystal face is there, so that is actually a legitimate thing.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's
100%
very
natural,
unusual.
no damage.
That's right.
And I like this calcite from Uruguay. It's a scalenihedral calcite with druzy calcite on top, and you can see it poking the hole. There's another calcite scepter on top with the amethyst. That's a neat
wild
piece.
thing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like that.
And this piece from Jackson's Crossroad, the amethyst, I bought from Terry Ledford.
Oh,
he said it was from his personal collection.
Very good. That's great.
And I love this shore with amethyst on it.
That's a classic. I mean, that you just don't see that. That's very unusual to get that habit. Amethyst on a Charles tourmaline.
And I love that bottle Aquamarine right there. The color, the size.
Very unusual. The shape, the right color, matrix on that. Yeah, the one we call nickname bullet type.
Yes, sir.
And that's a very unusual thing.
Yes, sir.
No question about it.
I also like this pink tourmaline with smoky quartz.
Very beautiful thing. Beautiful realgar there with the calcites.
Yes,
that's
sir.
a gorgeous
From China,
thing.
Schemen mine.
Yeah. Bicolored Morgan. You got
bicolor
things.
fluorite, yes, with muscovite, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I love this is aquamarine with helix, with a helix here.
Okay.
And Bryan, with his lights, is showing up a little blue, that aquamarine at the base. The one with all the etchings, highly etched.
Yes.
I haven't seen that blue because of the lights here.
I love that thing. I remember when you got it and everything. Very bizarre looking specimen. No, that's a lovely case. And how many years would you say it took you to put this together?
Well, probably 4 or 5 years.
Good for you. That's
Thank you, Dave. But you know, What's Hot in Tucson has been my inspiration.
Well,
it really has
I really
been.
appreciate that. And it seems to be making a wonderful big hit now. Everybody seems to love it.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bryan. Thank you so much.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, Dave. I'm fine, thank you.
And you got some goodies to show us, right?
Yes.
Good.
I
Every
always
year
try.
you guys always come up with something for us. Good.
Here I have a cerussite.
Beautiful
twin.
Yes.
An old classic from Tuisit in Morocco. It was found in 1982.
Okay.
It's a really, really good one.
That's
with
beautiful.
an extra faces here.
Yes.
Very pristine.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful twin.
This is
That's right.
a realgar on a calcite twin.
Twinning scalehedron, calcite, realgar. Beautiful.
Yep.
Absolutely a jewel of a specimen.
Yep.
Oh, I like that. Wow. That's different.
The backlighting.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Here I have an old fluorite from La Cabaña open pit, Berbes, Asturias, Spain.
Very good.
Also
Beautiful.
from the very early 80s.
Okay. That's a beautiful cluster.
Yeah, and that
crystals.
pocket is quite unusual for Berbes because you have a
Yes.
second growth, very, very clear and light blue,
That's
which is
right.
not usual for Berbes.
That is.
And very,
you can see the blue
very
in it.
fine crystals, flat faces,
Yes.
transparent.
Beautiful. And look at these. They're actually white right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful.
And let me show you on the background some hidden specimen, also from Spain.
Okay.
This is a pyrite on yellow fluorite. This is from Villabona mine,
Okay.
next to Moscona mine, very well known for yellow, deep yellow fluorite in Asturias.
Okay.
And this is Villabona mine.
It's beautiful. It's like ferns.
Yeah.
That's
You,
very
you know,
interesting.
it reminds me the old drawings in old books, in the 19th century mineralogical books.
Yes.
Drawings of the Christmas tree of silver.
Yes.
But this is pyrite.
Pyrite. Okay.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Appreciate it. Always have lovely things to show us.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Dave, how are you doing?
Fine.
Thanks for coming by our booth at the main show.
Oh, every year you got killer things.
Oh, thank
and
you
got
so
a new
much.
collection you came into here and been looking at. What's the story on this?
You know, we have been very fortunate to be asked by Gerhard Wagner to represent the minerals from his collection. There was an early release by Heritage Auctions of some of the fine tourmalines that were in his collection, but we are not only going to be featuring the wonderful collection of tourmalines that he has, but some great worldwide pieces. I had the opportunity to gather these all together and transport them up to Colorado, and there are some incredible worldwide pieces. Gerhard wrote this beautiful book on tourmalines, and everybody kind of associates his collection with superb tourmalines from Brazil and from Afghanistan and from other countries around the world.
Right.
But his collection was not limited only to tourmalines, and so in addition to some spectacular tourmalines that weren't offered in the Heritage Auction, we're also going to have, I think there was something on the order of about 500 or 600 worldwide specimens of different species other than tourmalines. So we're really excited for the opportunity to present these specimens that haven't been seen at auction before to the collecting public, and we're really excited to represent Gerhard Wagner's mineral collection.
Yes.
And as you know, Gerhard was collecting for many, many years, decades, to put this collection
I've heard
together.
that name away long
Yeah.
ago.
He's
Fabulous
very,
things
and you can tell from the
for
huge
themselves,
aesthetics of these pieces. Tourmalines from Afghanistan, the great Padenera tourmalines, Himalaya mine tourmaline that's just
That's a
to
wonderful
die
thing.
for.
I like that.
Isn't that?
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
lovely?
Very unusual.
And many, many more. He had some Panascara apatites that are fantastic, some Bunker Hill pyromorphites, some bornonites, some of the best I've ever seen. Really fine bornonite specimens. So it's going to be kind of surprising to people. There were several different localities, some from South America, some from France, some from China. So he had a nice suite of bornonites and some beautiful stibnite clusters out of China.
Very good.
You wouldn't necessarily expect, with as much as his collection is associated with tourmaline, that he'd have so many beautiful worldwide specimens. And we're excited to handle those for him.
Approximately how many items do you think he had in his collection?
I think in total it's over 800.
Very good.
But we'll be handling about 600 or so. And I don't know the exact number, but it'll be in that number range.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful collection.
Yeah, aren't they spectacular?
Oh, my God.
I know you have a real affinity for gem species and the tourmalines.
Tourmaline's my favorite.
Yeah,
mineral.
it is for me as well. I love the
I've
beautiful
always liked the
colors and
tourmalines, yeah.
all the localities from
That's
which you
right.
can get great tourmalines.
Very much.
Well, Dave, thank you.
Thanks
I
a lot.
appreciate you coming by.